vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynabite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dynabite.
859.
For over 3 decades, Marty Spiegel and Miles Cahill, recent AM 560 Food for the Poor business benefactor,
Hey, Eric.
effectively defended workers' comp cases on behalf of businesses and insurance companies in both Illinois and Indiana. All of the attorneys at Spiegel and Cahill understand and are sympathetic to the real burden your company faces.
Hey, traffic's not updating. I have the LQ updated, but the traffic report didn't update.
Okay, I'll look at it.
And managing all of your workers' comp costs. To learn more or request a no-obligation workman's comp consultation, call Spiegel and Cahill at 630-455-4070, 630-455-4070, or visit defendingbusinesses.com. That's defendingbusinesses.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Chicago's Morning Answer getting set to start next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Let's get the update with meteorologist Kevin Snyder. A heavy thunderstorm is in Kevin Snyder's forecast. Storms could bring flash flooding and damaging winds, high of 82. Showers and heavy thunderstorms. Storms could bring some flooding and damaging winds overnight, low 53. Clouds and sun, breezy and much cooler tomorrow, high 65. 47 for an overnight low tomorrow night and only 70 on Thursday. Currently 68 at O'Hare and along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, the left wants to turn the 40-year-old virgin into the human stain.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Brett Kavanaugh and his wife sitting down yesterday evening and taking my advice, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. When I heard that they were going to break their silence and sit down with Martha, I said, Dan was probably the PR working his magic.
No, I just suggested yesterday on the show that he should not withstand 4 days of being beaten up in a back alley by the D.C. press corps without responding. I mean, yes, he'll have his day before the Senate Judiciary Committee, but he needs more than written statements to respond as the second accuser comes forward and the hysteria is fed. And that's what he and his wife Ashley did with Martha McCallum yesterday. And this was a familiar refrain from Brett Kavanaugh, how he opened the interview, which is all he wants is a fair process and the opportunity to be heard.
I am looking for a fair process, a process where I can defend my integrity and clear my name. And all I'm asking for is fairness and that I be heard in this process.
Speaking of the process, his wife Ashley had this characterization of the process thus far.
This process is incredibly difficult, harder than we imagined, and we imagined it might be hard. But at the end of the day, our faith is strong, and we know that we're on the right path. We're just going to stick to it.
So the question is, do you believe Brett Kavanaugh, did he enhance his credibility with yesterday's interview with Martha McCallum? 642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
What I found fascinating was I thought Martha was pretty hard on them. I mean, this was not a softball interview by any means, because she kept pressing on, well, did you know her? Just, is she a familiar face? And he said, no, we didn't hang out with, we hung out in different circles in high school. But the party in question, he said he was not at. And he gave a location, the cross streets of where this party was, and he said it's not possible.
No, I've never sexually assaulted anyone, not in high school, not ever. I've always treated women with dignity and respect. Listen to the people who've known me best through my whole life, the women who've known me since high school, the 65 who overnight signed a letter from high school saying I always treated them with dignity and respect.
But with regards to Christine Ford, do you know her?
I may have met her. We did not travel in the same social circles. She was not a friend, not someone I knew.
You don't remember ever being at parties with her ever?
I do not. And this is an allegation about a party in the summer of 1982 at a house near Connecticut Avenue and East West Highway with 5 people present. I was never at any such party. The other people who are alleged to be present have said they do not remember any such party. A woman who was present, another woman who was present, who is Dr. Ford's lifelong friend, has said she doesn't know me and never remembers being at a party with me at any time in her life. All I'm asking for is a fair process where I can be heard.
And it was interesting, Martha McCallum also put the question to Ashley, his wife. So throughout this, when the allegations were made, and even the second allegation, the second accuser, Deborah Ramirez, more recently over the weekend, did you ever doubt Brett? Did doubt ever creep into your mind, like,
who did I marry?
Like, maybe I married a sociopath. Maybe he's Mr. Nice Guy to me, and
maybe it's a double life.
Yeah, I mean, it has happened.
Maybe he's Tony Preckwinkling me.
It seems.
Oh, sorry.
It seems unlikely in this case, but that was the question that was posed.
I mean, I know Brad. I've known him for 17 years, and this is not at all character. It's really hard to believe. He's decent. He's kind. He's good. I know his heart. This is not consistent with Brad.
Do you really know Brad?
Do you really? And I thought he showed some compassion, for, because everybody's like, what's his pain going to be, in the Senate Judiciary hearings? Is he going to feel for the victim? And he did say it is, a possibility that something did happen to this woman, but he didn't do it.
I am not questioning and have not questioned that perhaps Dr. Ford at some point in her life was sexually assaulted by someone in some place. But what I know is I've never sexually assaulted anyone in high school or at any time.
So when
in my
she
life.
says there's no doubt in her mind that it was you, because she was asked that, is it possible that you maybe confused him, maybe it's mistaken identity, maybe it was someone else? She said absolutely not.
I've never sexually assaulted anyone. I was not at the party described. I was not anywhere at any place resembling that in the summer of 1982. The other people alleged to be there don't say anything like that. And the woman who's alleged to be there, who's her friend, says that she doesn't know me and doesn't recall ever being at a party with me in her life.
So I saw some criticism of Kavanaugh sounding like he was too rehearsed, that he had prepared too much for this. Let me tell you something. What he did was smart. It's not rehearsed, it's intelligent.
Yep.
No matter who McCallum brought up, he did not go to questioning their motives. Why is this happening? Why is somebody doing this? I don't know. Here's what I know. Very judicial. I know these facts. I know that I'm telling the truth. What somebody's motivation is, I have no idea. I'm not going to comment on it. I'm just going to comment on behavior. I'm going to comment on conduct. So I know what the truth is as I'm explaining it. I know what people have done, these women who've signed a letter, these women who held a press conference, these women and others who know me.
Yeah, total of 220.
The witnesses that were proffered as corroborators who have turned out to refute or not remember the allegations of both accusers. So I'm just going to stick to the four corners of what we know based on how people have behaved, and that's smart. It's not rehearsed. And for him to repeat multiple times through this 15-minute interview that all I'm looking for is a fair process and a opportunity to be heard. Yeah, because that's what he wants the takeaway to be. That's what he wants the headline to be, because I think that's what he wants. And there's nothing wrong with being focused and disciplined and restrained. That's called being an adult. So for people criticizing him, and I've seen some even from the conservative,
conservatives too.
That he sounded rehearsed. For all of the reasons I just laid out, I wouldn't say rehearsed. I'd say restrained and focused. And he should be in this situation.
Is this a preview for what we're going to see on Thursday? I mean, are we going to hear fair process? 20 times.
He's not going to see fair process. I mean, because
he's part of the process has started.
Well, right. That's his opportunity to be heard. So all I've asked is this opportunity. Thank you for this opportunity. And I assume it'll be some version of what you heard there, with repeating what he knows to be true, repeating his blanket denials, and of course telling us the intimate details of when he lost his virginity.
Hey-o.
I can't wait for that.
I kept singing this song, Like a Virgin. Hey!
Yeah, it got a little...
I got a little uncomfortable, I'll say. I didn't expect it to go there.
This is the new standard. We've got Eric Metaxas on later in the show, and I'll be asking him when he lost his virginity. Brett Kavanaugh saying never had any sexual conduct of any sort. Sexual congress. Never consummated.
Okay. I did not have sexual intercourse or anything close to sexual intercourse in high school or for many years thereafter. And the girls from the schools I went to and I were friends.
So you're saying that through all these years that are in question, you were a virgin?
That's correct.
Never had sexual intercourse with anyone in high school?
That is what a virgin
Through
is.
what years in college, since we're probing into your personal life here?
Many years after. I'll leave it at that. Many years after.
How many years?
So I was the follow-up? So who was your first? I mean, really, that's what I was bracing for.
I was
I'm
waiting.
so glad the question was not asked.
I was waiting for Martha McCallum to ask him if he still had his Oscar Goldman action figure in the original packaging. I mean, it's so weird. This is where we're at. And
Well, I know, because this whole thing is about sex, and so he had to clear his name and just talk about the truth.
Well, it's not about sex.
It's about a smear campaign, but using the SEX word.
Yes, that's what it's about. It's a smear campaign, and I thought this was the most poignant moment of the interview when he
talked about girls basketball.
No, when he repeated again his denial of what he is alleged to have done, and he did make one qualitative statement about what's happening when he said this is wrong.
And I know I'm telling the truth. I know my lifelong record, and I'm not going to let false accusations drive me out of this process. I have faith in God, and I have faith in the fairness of the American people. America's about fairness and hearing from both sides. And I didn't do this or anything resembling this. This is wrong.
He almost got a little emotional there, but I would agree with him that this is wrong. I would go further. I think this is grotesque. And I thought Kavanaugh vastly improved his standing in the public mind yesterday with that interview. But we'll take your calls. 312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you want to share stories about when you lost your virginity. Robert in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, Dan and Amy. I agree with you 100%, Dan. But what scares the living Jesus out of me, why would anyone try and go up against the Democratic machine? Because in the Republican world, we're a bunch of little babies. We don't fight the same fight they fight, and we might sling a little bit of mud. They sling like Mount St. Helens. And it really should scare us all to death that this is the norm now. It's been the norm in Chicago for a long time if you've lived here your whole life, like I have.
Yeah, politics ain't beanbag. Thanks for the call, Robert. Appreciate it. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Judson University in scenic Elgin, Illinois.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Northridge Prep Live in 1 minute. Northridge Prep Live, 1 minute.
If you own or run a business, here's some valuable information. Right now, it's a buyer's market for business and commercial insurance. This is Jim Solkowski of DSP Insurance Services in Schaumburg. It's a really good time to take a look at all your business insurance products. We handle it all with specialists in every field. With our new clients, we review all your products every 90 days. Why? Insurance products change constantly. Do you have the most competitive program? Has your business changed and you need to adjust your policies? Have rules and regulations changed? We even use a legal team to help with compliance. DSP is all about being your insurance partner, the one looking out for you and your business. DSP partners with Westfield Insurance and several other insurance carriers to protect your interests. Here's a common theme we hear from our customers.
For business insurance, DSP for me.
Business insurance?
Stand by for Northridge Prep Live.
Information at dspforme.com. Let's review your business insurance to make sure you're protected. dspforme.com.
Imagine your son after a year of college. What kind of man do you hope to see? A man fully alive and committed to making good choices and doing the right thing because they are right and because he is strong enough? Northridge Prep in Niles builds that kind of man. At an open house on Sunday, October 21st, see for yourself what makes Northridge Prep the #1 all-boys school 3 years running and the 4th best Catholic school in Illinois. Their academically rigorous curriculum celebrates the adventure of boyhood. Hall Fest, the Superfans, jousting tournaments, and more make it a good place to be a boy. Northridge Prep is an independent school for boys, grades 6 through 12. They produce men with the ability to think for themselves. Graduates go to the best universities, including the Ivy League, and also the best universities. Every teacher is a role model, and 50% of faculty attended a top 20 university. Don't miss Northridge Prep's open house on Sunday, October 21st. Learn more and register online at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide
Back at 2820, take it to the bottom, send it to news.
4 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Noted author, former chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user Dr. Bob Arnott.
The human body has billions of pain receptors. Block those receptors with the anesthetics found in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, and you'll have relief. Salonpas Lidocaine Plus contains 2 anesthetics, including the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. They numb aggravated nerves for effective, lasting relief. For relief, try what I use, Salonpas Lidocaine Plus.
In the silver box with the blue wave.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Makers and doers, have you heard of the Technology and Manufacturing Association? TMA represents nearly 1,000 manufacturers and over 30,000 manufacturing employees in the Chicagoland region. Headquartered in Schaumburg, TMA is a comprehensive resource for Midwest manufacturers looking to improve operations, strengthen their workforce, and grow their business. We strengthen our members by providing business support services, events, networking opportunities, and government advocacy. TMA is also a leader in training and education, helping our manufacturers develop the talent they need to grow and thrive. At our Schaumburg Training Center, our industry-leading instructors are providing hands-on training to prepare the next generation of makers. The TMA Education Foundation has donated over $1.5 million to area schools, providing young people with exposure to today's high-tech and high-paying manufacturing jobs. As a leading voice in an evolving industry, TMA cultivates and strengthens our members. Consider joining our member-driven association as we support each other. Learn more at tmaillinois.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, talking about Kavanaugh's interview with McCallum yesterday, and I mean the response. Some of the responses. I just got a tweet from a friend of mine, Democrat. I'll lay 10-to-1 odds that Mr. Kavanaugh was no longer a virgin by age 20. Pun intended. No pun intended. What? I mean, what? I don't even know what to say to that. What does that even mean? 20? Why is it not 18? Why is it not 24? Why is it not 22?
He said it was years after college.
You want to get? I know, but
still.
So he's
over under on this.
He's lying. You want to guess it? How are we going to prove up this bet? I mean, this is the rabbit hole. These are the rabbit holes, plural, that the left wants you to go down. Just like they pulled some conservatives into the rabbit hole criticizing Dennis Prager for saying even if Avenatti had done what Blasey Ford accused him of, it's not disqualifying for the Supreme Court, which is a topic we've tackled as well. I'll tell you who else is standing by Kavanaugh all the way. It's President Trump. He had this to say yesterday in advance of the McCallum interview.
He's a fine man with an unblemished past. These are highly unsubstantiated statements from people represented by lawyers. You should look into the lawyers doing the representation. Judge Kavanaugh is an outstanding person, and I am with them all the way. We'll see how it goes with the Senate. We'll see how it goes with the vote. I think it could be, a chance that this could be one of the single most unfair, unjust things to happen to a candidate for anything. But I am with Judge Kavanaugh, and I look forward to a vote. And for people to come out of the woodwork from 36 years ago and 30 years ago and never mention it, all of a sudden it happens. In my opinion, it's totally political. It is totally political.
Well, a room full of Senate Democrats can help jog your memory, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that coming up at 6:35. But now,
5:35.
Oh, 5?
Even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and finish the 5 o'clock hour before we get to the 6 o'clock hour.
Now let's go into the newsroom and check in with headlines here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
We have cloudy skies, rain on the way, 67 degrees, and an attorney for the woman accusing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault is questioning plans for a hearing on the allegations Thursday. In a letter to the head of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Christine Blasey Ford's attorney takes issue with plans for outside counsel to question Ford during the hearing. Nominee Brett Kavanaugh says he's not going anywhere as he defends himself against the allegations.
I'm not going to let false accusations drive us out of this process, and we're looking for a fair process where I can be heard and defend my integrity.
In an interview on Fox News, the federal judge denied any accusations against him, saying he's never sexually assaulted anyone. Meantime, lawyer Michael Avenatti says he may have a client who has information about allegations against Brett Kavanaugh.
She is 100% credible, and when the American people hear from her, they will determine, as I have, that she is to be believed.
Avenatti, though, says he will not reveal who the mystery woman is. A new poll shows Americans have their most favorable view of the Republican Party since 2011. In a wide-ranging poll, Gallup's favorability for September shows 45% of Americans have a positive view of the GOP. That's up nearly 10% from August. Rivers that flow past Georgetown, South Carolina, are gorged with rain from Hurricane Florence, and they're certain to overflow this week. That's prompting even more calls this morning for thousands of people to evacuate. A wildfire crossing the Colorado-Wyoming border is exploding. The Ryan fire is now at over 19,000 acres. Some big changes brewing at Starbucks this morning. The CEO, Kevin Johnson, confirming in a memo to employees that leadership and organizational changes are about to take place. That means job cuts to reignite sales growth. The murder trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke resumes today. The officer charged in the shooting of black teenager Laquan McDonald in 2014. Van Dyke's legal team will continue presenting their case today. An autopsy is scheduled today for a man found dead at a CTA station in Chicago's South Loop. Police say the victim was discovered yesterday morning on the Green Line platform just ahead of the Roosevelt stop. No foul play right now is expected. There are new motions that may give a hint today as to what lawyers for the man accused of killing a Chinese-born University of Illinois scholar are planning. Last night, Brent Christensen's lawyers asked a federal judge for more time to consider a mental health defense. Christensen is charged with kidnapping Ying Zhang back in 2017 and causing her death. Chicago sports, Pirates beat the Cubs 5-1. Indians blanked the White Sox 4-0 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Blackhawks face the Red Wings tonight in preseason action. 5:34. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says we're seeing the act of a desperate party.
I told you. This was going to be a mess, and it is one of those stories that sort of derailed because of the political antics of a party that desperately wants to prevent Brett Kavanaugh from being confirmed to the United States Supreme Court.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Attention maintenance coordinators. Fans are a vital part of your business's building or factory. You've got to keep the air moving. But when they break down or need service, who can you call? Vans Industrial repair all types of fans, from small wall fans to large air movers.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Fan repair is one of many services that Vans offers. If you have a fan with a damaged shaft, bearing, impeller, or housing, we can help. And if you need a new fan, we handle all major brands and can provide engineering assistance to properly size your new fan. Our crews can respond to your emergencies or routine maintenance and will have your fan back up and running fast. And when we're done repairing your fan, we can also dynamically balance it so it runs smooth for years to come.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to get your fan repaired today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Megan Crane. A weekly conversation about top political issues ahead of the upcoming midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
5:37, and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The latest with Jim Talamonte.
In Naperville this morning, there's fire on West Street at Hospital that's right near Edward Hospital. Bishop Ford Freeway inbound traffic is jammed. Similarly to before 130th, rollover crash. 2 right lanes are blocked. Live wire hanging down in that area. A lot of debris as well. Looking at 30 minutes, 8094 to Ryan. Farther north, Stony Island. Inbound Bishop Ford is down to 1 lane with construction till late October. On I-57, roadwork delays, Falls Bay to the merge. 18 minutes, I-80 to the ride. Inbound Ryan, little congestion approaching downtown. On Eisenhower, it's heavy. Ashland to the Burn Circle. Ramp to the outbound Kennedy's reopened. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Could be some heavy storms today. We'll call for rain and perhaps some damaging winds if those storms develop. High 82. Same story overnight. Low 53, but with showers and some potential heavy weather. Clouds and sun tomorrow. Fall, well, it'll arrive. 65 and a low tomorrow night of 47. 68 right now. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Judson University in scenic Elgin, or Elgin, as
Elgin. Who calls it Elgin?
Somebody, I think some local TV newsreader
course.
called it Elgin. One of the people they've just imported from, I don't know, one of the
Zanesville, Ohio.
Yeah, one of the
Market size 189.
some Mac school or one of the Seven Sisters or something. I don't know. But here's the thing. Topics today include virginity, binge drinking, boofing, and gang rape. So I don't know if we picked the best day to broadcast from a Christian university.
I was thinking the same thing. Grab a line, 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line, 64636 DA, then a quick comment.
Later in the show, at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour, we'll have the university president, Gene Cruz, on. We'll go in depth into the topic of boofing with him. Get his perspectives on that.
Dan.
So yesterday, before his interview with Martha McCallum, Brett Kavanaugh sent a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee, sort of a preview, really, of the interview. This is perhaps even more strident. At least it comes across as more strident in written word than sort of the soft-spoken Kavanaugh. He writes about the allegations that came out against him in the 11th hour. These are smears, pure and simple, and they debase our public discourse. But they're also a threat to any man or woman who wishes to serve the country. Such grotesque and obvious character assassination, if allowed to succeed, will dissuade competent and good people of all political persuasions from service. He goes on to say, I will not be intimidated into withdrawing from this process. The vile threats of violence against my family will not drive me out. The last minute character assassination will not succeed. And he looks forward to answering questions from the Senate on Thursday. So he may be mild-mannered, but he seems fairly stout of heart and stiff of spine. And I hope Republican senators on the Senate Judiciary Committee and in the Senate generally are similarly disposed. I'll tell you one who is, and he generates a lot of criticism, much of it deserved. But Mitch McConnell took to the Senate floor yesterday.
Yeah, I watched it live, and I was trying to not watch it because I had things to do, but I kept going back to it. He's a huge supporter of Kavanaugh, and he's not backing down.
No.
And that message needed to be heard yesterday too, as well as hearing from Brett and his wife Ashley.
And the Senate Majority Leader went beyond not backing down to actually going on offense against Democrats. What a concept! He should try to do it more often. So should his colleagues.
Well, it's not like they didn't warn us. But even by the far left standards, this shameful smear campaign has hit a new low. Senate Democrats and their allies are trying to destroy a man's personal and professional life on the basis of decades-old allegations that are unsubstantiated and uncorroborated. That, Mr. President, is where we are. This is what the so-called resistance has become. A smear campaign, pure and simple, aided and abetted by members of the United States Senate.
And Chuck Grassley, the Senate Judiciary Committee chairman, he sent a letter yesterday to Ms. Blasey
Ford, who, by the way,
no, it's Blasey Ford, like Rosé. Blasey Ford. Feeling blasé about blasé. Blasey Ford saying, I'm writing to say that I'm committed to fair and respectful treatment of you, as you've requested. I work to make certain the committee I chair handles all individuals involved in hearings in that manner, and you deserve the same. I have great responsibility for the hearing to consider the president's nominee. I should have been given your July 30th letter at the time your letter was sent by either my colleague, Senator Feinstein, or the lawyer helping you, so that what it said could have been considered in August and during the week of September 4th when the committee hearing was held, including a senator's-only session of the hearing. I take letters from individuals seriously and over a long period of time have to demonstrate a commitment to handling personal or sensitive information in a confidential matter. So Grassley sort of chiding his Senate Democrat colleagues through that letter to Ford, saying, I'm going to treat you with respect, but understand we don't have to be in this place. You and your allies put us in this place.
Right. And you chose to you chose to do what you wanted to do. And I honestly am deep down in my soul, I still think that there's a very strong possibility that Thursday's hearing is not going to happen. Because now she says she has a fear of flying. But if you look at her past, I mean, she lived in Hawaii for a year, so She didn't take a boat to Hawaii. She has flown before. Her relatives are on the East Coast, and she has been to visit them several times via a plane. So I don't know if this is a stall tactic, but I still think there's time that she'll back out.
Well, and there's also, they've got these demands that haven't been met that could provide a convenient cover to not participate. We'll see.
A one-camera shoot. I mean, I, honestly, just as somebody who used to be in the business, that demand, I mean, who the hell does she think she is? And she wants, what, a green room too with that? I mean, Anita Hill did it. She sat there. She showed up when she was supposed to show up, and she testified like everybody else with the amount of cameras that were there.
Well, this is what Mitch McConnell's referring to when he talks about the Dems' conduct.
But Democrats wouldn't let a few inconvenient things, like a complete lack of evidence, or an accuser's request for confidentiality, to get between them and a good smear. It's despicable. And the contrast with the completely professional conduct of Chairman Grassley could not be starker.
McConnell also tackled straight away the second allegation, the second accuser, Deborah Ramirez.
But the smear campaign didn't stop there. That was just Act One. Just Act One. According to the reporter of this second allegation, the accuser, quote, came forward because Senate Democrats began looking, and now they're calling for even further delays and further obstruction over a second decades-old allegation that is so thin and so unsupported that the New York Times refused to even run a story about it.
That was a point that Kavanaugh made in his interview with McCallum as well. Glenn in Holland, Michigan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes. How come we can't take and say, all right, fine, we're going to have these hearings, but then we're going to continue on this investigation, and if we find out that these people were lying, these women were lying, and this is nothing more than just a smear campaign, then we're going to press charges against these women, and we're going to press charges for these false allegations, and we're going to throw the book at them. I think they would change their mind drastically about how far they're going to pursue smearing Kavanaugh.
Well, I think their attorneys know that they cannot perjure themselves.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, but it's interesting to note. Thanks for the call, Glenn. It's interesting to note that one of the demands from Blase Ford's attorney, Katz, was that she would not testify under oath.
Oh, really?
It's one of the demands.
How convenient. Oh, my gosh.
Sarah in Glenview, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, I also have a fear of flying. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, my point is, instead of a he said, she said, I'd like to know, and a lot of people in America would like to know, behind the scenes, has money changed hands, or will it? We all know that there's Soros money involved here, and there seems to be a Congo line of females lining up to come forward.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Sarah. Appreciate it. I mean, the conga line, I assume she's referring to these reports out yesterday of possible third and fourth accusers. And let me tell you how slimy the D.C. press corps is. You think, just understand that they are part of this smear campaign against Kavanaugh.
Right.
The report in the Daily Beast, third and fourth accusers. That was the headline. When, in point of fact, the alleged third accuser is somebody that Stormy Daniels' primordial attorney has identified.
Right.
Yet to come forward.
And he said today or tomorrow that he said there's significant evidence of multiple house parties in Washington, D.C. in the 1980s, and that during which Brett Kavanaugh and his friend Mark Judge and others would participate in the targeting of women with alcohol and drugs in order to allow a train of men to gang rape them. I mean, come on, he should be disbarred. Is that a possibility? Because this, I mean, he is so self-serving and reckless, and he just wants to keep inserting himself into everything, every headline that's going on in our culture.
There's
sick.
So this is the Daily Beast report, and then there's actually a look, or there was another newspaper person at the Sentinel, who suggested there was somebody from Maryland that was going to make an accusation. This is the fourth. And then Washington Examiner called the local law enforcement. So we know what you're talking about. Maryland police, the relevant local police, aren't reviewing any second high school allegation against Brett Kavanaugh. But I mean, the way they report it as like these allegations have been made, these are rumors about allegations that have been denied by one local law enforcement agency and the other being promulgated by Stormy Daniels' fracking attorneys.
Oh, he's such a goofball. I mean, it's like the land of misfit toys. Back to Deborah Ramirez, though. We know that she spent 6 days with her attorney, and CNN was reporting that Senate Democrats were in on those meetings because they were trying to. She called her roommate, she called her best friend. Like, it could have been him. I don't know. And so the Senate Democrats are in on the smear campaign, and it was a great parallel to what happened to Clarence Thomas. And I'll never forget this.
I think that this today is a travesty. I think that it is disgusting. I think that this hearing should never occur in America. This is a case in which this sleaze, this dirt, was searched for by staffers of members of this committee, and this body validated it and displayed it at prime time over our entire nation.
Yeah, high-tech lynching for uppity black people. I mean, that's what that was. By the way, Jeffrey Toobin embarrassed himself on CNN. That's not new, suggesting that history has vindicated Anita Hill. Quite the opposite. Anita Hill wasn't vindicated at that hearing, and she hasn't been vindicated since because the facts haven't changed, and her inconsistent testimony to FBI versus to the Senate Judiciary Committee hasn't changed, Mr. Toobin. So I hope there is a sort of a Thomas moment for Kavanaugh on Thursday.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think he should have a Clarence Thomas moment where he pretty much repeats exactly what he said?
Well,
back in 1991.
I mean, this is redux in a whole host of ways. This even worse, though. These were colleagues, adults. We're talking about 36 years ago, teenagers, and arguing about what the culture was like at Georgetown Prep in the 80s, for goodness sakes. Lucy in Lowell, Indiana.
Yes, good morning. This is about money, and it's about abortion. This woman who's accusing Kavanaugh, according to InfoWars, works for a drug company which makes a drug and
abortifacient, yeah.
For one type of use, but the second use that it's used for is like a morning after pill.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. Thanks for the call, Lucy.
What's going on?
Well, so the idea is that we know that these are both Democrats, and that doesn't necessarily obviate their claims, but that Blasey Ford has an interest to work for a pharma company that produces abortifacients. And so she may be even more motivated because of the Roe v. Wade issue than Democrat senators. Possibly. We just need to be careful here, too. Let's be meticulous about what we know to be true. I saw a bunch of stuff yesterday about Deborah Ramirez being a former George Soros open land fellow.
Not true.
Different Deborah Ramirez. So let's just do what Brett Kavanaugh did in his interview with Kavanaugh. Let's stick to what we know to be true and ask questions about what we don't. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Judson University in Elgin.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
You remember a simpler time when
Pearl Mortgage Live, 1 minute. Pearl Mortgage Live, 1 minute.
To their tablets or smartphones. Well, real family fun is back at Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Gobert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun.
This was the most fun day ever. My parents were there, my kids were there. There was a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and there was so much more. I loved it.
It's a family tradition for us to visit Gobert's every October. The pumpkins are great, the attractions are fun, and the apple cider donuts are to die for.
Loved it. One price to get in, and almost all the activities were free. My kids had a blast.
Listen to the kids.
My mom loves the homemade caramel apples.
I have to say, the pumpkin cannon is cool.
They got a pumpkin-eating dinosaur. The live giraffe is really cool.
I love the jumping pillow and the Pumpkin Express train ride.
Gobert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove. Pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com. Harvesting family memories.
Hey, if you're interested in securing a reverse mortgage loan, then you need to call the reverse mortgage loan experts at Team Hochberg. Today, meet the Jones, experienced homeowners who live in $1 million home they own free and clear, who wanted to take money out of their home to pay for their grandchild's college education. Wow, that's nice. They were presented with facts how reverse mortgage loans work, discussed the pros and cons with their family, and compared the reverse mortgage loan against liquidating assets or taking out a loan with scheduled payments. Now, after much thought and deliberation, the Jones were more comfortable securing a reverse mortgage loan to fund their grandchild's college education because they enjoyed not having a rigid payment schedule associated with a traditional loan. So if you'd like to talk about a reverse mortgage loan and how it works and how it would benefit you and your family, call Team Hochberg Reverse Mortgage Loan Experts at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358, NMLS 19186.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create.
You are back at 5925, Tease and Throw It to News.
Can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, all raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
Chicago has long been a hub of architectural innovation, and the future of Chicago building isn't stopping anytime soon. At Ozinga, we believe it's important to continue pushing the boundaries of the construction industry, but it can't be accomplished alone. Let's build this city with ingenuity, sustainability, and with heart. But more importantly, let's build this city together.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dynovite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
It's a fact, workman's compensation is a mandated and burdensome expense for businesses. You've heard business owners on this station discuss the impact of workers' comp on their bottom line. This burden continues to grow every year. It's important that your company identify the risks you face and do everything possible to minimize your exposure and expense. For over 3 decades, Marty Spiegel and Miles Cahill, recent AM 560 Food for the Poor business benefactors, have effectively defended workers' comp cases on behalf of businesses and insurance companies in both Illinois and Indiana. All of the attorneys at Spiegel and Cahill understand and are sympathetic to the real burden your company faces. They excel at helping you identify and minimize your risks. The Spiegel-Cahill team is committed to being responsive and managing all of your workers' comp costs. To learn more or request a no-obligation workman's comp consultation, call Spiegel and Cahill at 630-455-4070, 630-455-4070, or visit defendingbusinesses.com. That's defendingbusinesses.com.
Hey, join the Heartland Institute and me on Friday, October 26th for the 34th anniversary benefit dinner at the Cotillion in Palatine. I will be your MC, and the featured speaker will be Judge Andrew Napolitano from the Fox News Channel. Judge Napolitano is nationally known for watching and reporting on the government, and his no-holds-barred, hard-hitting commentary on government overreach and the abuse of our rights. Register today to reserve your VIP tickets or a whole table and meet Judge Napolitano. His important and unforgettable speech will be on the Constitution and human freedom. Also be there to help celebrate the lives of 2 people who have dedicated their lives to advancing liberty. Heartland Liberty Prize winners Joe Bass, the co-founder and former president of the Heartland Institute, and his wife, Diane. Don't be held in contempt. Join the Heartland Institute and me, Judge Napolitano, on Friday, October 26th at the Cotillion in Palatine. For tickets or information, call 312-377-4000 or visit heartland.org. That's 312-377-4000 or heartland.org. I'll see you there.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Sheila Weinberg at 6:06 about Truth in Accounting's new report on the financial health of Illinois. Yes, it will be a dire prognosis. And then we'll get back to poring over Brett Kavanaugh's high school yearbooks.
And later she was paralyzed, but now she can walk. A spinal cord implant story you have to hear. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Defense begins presenting evidence in their case in the Van Dyke trial. Early voting begins in Illinois this week, and the Pirates top the Cubs. WIND, Chicago News Time 6.
The Supreme Court nominee says he wants to be fairly judged. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I'm not going to let false accusations drive us out of this process.
Brett Kavanaugh denying to Fox 2 decades-old allegations. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Judge Kavanaugh told Fox's Martha McCallum he's never sexually assaulted anyone.
But I've never done anything like this.
He also said he wasn't at the party that Christine Blasey Ford describes. Both will testify before the Judiciary Committee on Thursday. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is still calling for an FBI investigation of her claim he sexually assaulted her.
Is Judge Kavanaugh the kind of upright, straightforward individual we want on the bench?
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says Judge Kavanaugh will get an up or down vote in the full Senate in the near future. Dave.
And Rachel, the president tweeted last night, Democrats are working hard to destroy a wonderful man. He also tweeted about a new Gallup poll this morning that gives Republicans their best favorability in 7 years. 6 weeks before the congressional elections, 45% of Americans give the party a favorable rating. Democrats are at 44%. President Trump will address world leaders today at the UN General Assembly. Expected he'll have some harsh words for Iran.
He'll call on every country to join our pressure campaign in order to thwart Iran's global torrent of destructive activity.
Secretary of State Pompeo, it is sentencing day for Bill Cosby.
5 to 10 years. That's the sentence state's attorneys would like to see for Cosby. He was convicted in April on aggravated indecent assault charges. Now, 5 months later, accuser Andrea Constand has spoken in court, saying only in a brief statement that she only wants justice as the court sees fit. In response to any call for jail time, defense attorneys asked, what does an 81-year-old do in prison?
Fox's Goodall Scott at the courthouse in Norristown, Pennsylvania. Fox News, fair and balanced.
68 degrees in Chicago, and we've had some heavy weather move through the area, the south suburbs and south of I-80 this morning. 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Defense attorneys will call more witnesses today as the murder trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke resumes in court. A forensic pathologist who testified Monday for the defense criticized official autopsy results. Chuck Tease's testimony contradicted what the video of the 2014 shooting of Laquan McDonald shows. The police officer shot the black teen 16 times. Tease says she believes 12 of those 16 shots fired by Van Dyke that hit McDonald hit the teen before the teen was on the ground. Prosecutors rested their case last week.
Hey,
are presenting theirs.
Can you pull some bites? You know the comedian Pablo Francisco? He just does like a bunch of he does like noises and voices and stuff. Can you just go on YouTube and pull some silliness from him?
10-4. Days off. More men who were convicted of crimes linked to a corrupt ex-Chicago police sergeant, Ronald Watts, are being exonerated. 18 men had their convictions thrown out during a hearing yesterday. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox spoke yesterday after the convictions were tossed.
We must have a criminal justice system that has integrity and credibility. That means that we have to admit when things have gone wrong and actively work to fix it.
So far, a total of 42 convictions linked to the former official have been overturned. Authorities continue investigating after a missing man was found dead in a field in Wakanda. Officers were called out yesterday to the 2000 block of North Rand Road on reports of a vehicle with a large amount of blood inside. Officers searching found Paul Carr's body in a cornfield nearby. The victim had been reported missing Sunday from Buffalo Grove. Police in Wheaton are responding to reports of a possible mountain lion or cougar sighting in a resident's backyard. Happened Saturday afternoon. The animal spotted on East Ranch Road, according to police. When they got to the scene, they searched the area but did not locate the animal in question. According to the DNR, there are no existing populations of mountain lions or cougars in Illinois, but there have been many individual examples of them in the area. Pirates beat the Cubs 5-1 at Wrigley. Cole Hamels charged with 3 runs in 6 innings and the loss. Corey Kluber struck out 11. The Indians blanked the White Sox at the rate 4-0. Blackhawks and Red Wings in the NHL preseason. Bulls begin training camp today, and the news is a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 6:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity sees a shaky foundation.
Now that there's irrefutable and incontrovertible evidence that it's the highest-ranking members of the FBI and DOJ that are involved in nefarious activities and abuse of power to prevent one person from becoming president, the house of cards is beginning to tumble.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
I used to post to job boards.
Only to sort through tons of resumes.
Just to find a few candidates for
my sales team.
My hair salons.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Renowned medical correspondent and endurance race champion, Bob Arnott, MD.
People ask me, how do you keep competing at the age of 70? Healthy living is important, but so is pain relief. If you have pain, you can't train. So I'm thrilled I discovered Salonpas Lidocaine Plus. This unique topical pain reliever contains 2 safe and effective anesthetics. Nothing has worked better for me.
Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, cream or roll-on.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of U-Store It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of U-Store It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For just $5 a day, you can sponsor a child through Compassion International. It's pocket change to you. It's life-changing for a child in need. Be part of the change. Become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. That's compassion.com/radio.
6:08, and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
On the inbound Bishop Ford Freeway, traffic at a standstill. 159th before 130th. 2 right lanes are blocked. Rollover crash. A lot of debris, and there's a live wire hanging down. It is 35 minutes, 89 before the merge. A little heavy at Stony Island. Roadways.
Sheila's on line 10.
Lane. Inbound I-57, very heavy after overnight roadwork cleared late. 30 minutes. I-80 to the merge, placed around Dixie Highway. Edens is good. Kennedy, 24 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 20. Eisenhower, inbound to Lace Road at Wolf. 35 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Stevenson, 38 minutes, 3:55 to drive up on 42 with Crash Test Central and right lane. It's traffic. I'm Chip Lamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Couple of morning showers followed by a heavy late afternoon thunderstorm. Watch for flash flooding. High today 82. Evening showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Otherwise tonight breezy and cooler with clouds breaking. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Low 53. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560 The Answer.
68 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. Great events start with really great catering professionals. TastyCatering.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live this morning from Judson University, a small private Christian liberal arts college in Elgin, of course, Judson University. And we're going to be talking to our friend Eric Metaxas, who's in town to speak at Judson today. We'll be talking to him.
You know, they have an opening here for a basketball coach.
At the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. Grad
a grad assistant. Yeah. Well, it's never too late.
Yeah, maybe.
After the show, I'm trying out for the volleyball team. I want to be their new middle hitter.
It'd be a lot more fun than Illinois politics, I'll tell you that. And speaking of which, we're going to take a break from Brett Kavanaugh's yearbooks just to talk a little bit of local issues. And Truth in Accounting, truthinaccounting.org, statedatalab.org, has a new report out on Illinois' financial standing. And it turns out, in the parlance of the Kavanaugh saga, that the state of Illinois is a big debt whore. We'll do anything to pile up debt.
Oh, really?
They spend it, spread it everywhere.
We won.
Or speaking in Judson University parlance, Illinois is failing. The grade that Truth in Accounting assigns to the state of Illinois in terms of its financial health, that'd be an F. For more on why that might be, we're pleased to be joined by Sheila Weinberg, the founder of Truth in Accounting. Sheila, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Well, now we got her, I think.
Sheila?
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Here I am. I'm here.
Good. And so explain to us, if you will, why Illinois gets an F, as if we don't know.
Well, we take Illinois has a taxpayer burden. That's how much each taxpayer would have to send down to Springfield to clean up all of our financial mess that they've created. And that taxpayer burden is $50,800, and we give states that have more than $20,000 an F. So
per person.
Illinois is now the good news is
that number's per person, right?
It's actually per taxpayer.
Per taxpayer.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So it's about per household. So, and the good news is that we're no longer the second worst state. We're actually the third worst state. Connecticut took that honor of the second worst, but it's not because Illinois got better. It's because Connecticut got worse.
Mm-hmm. And New Jersey is dead last. What about the best states? Financially, most sound state.
We do have states that are actually ahead of the game. Alaska is our absolute best state, and followed by North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, and South Dakota. So if you're looking for places to move to, those sound like a pretty exciting state financially.
Yeah, that's why Kirk Heinrich moved to Sioux Falls, I understand. The Midwest, how does Illinois stack up as it relates to our Midwestern neighbors?
Well, right before I went on, I went ahead to our state data lab and did a create your own chart. It's an exciting feature that we allow you to do. And I looked at Illinois compared to Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and our taxpayer burden is by far the highest. The next closest taxpayer burden would be Michigan with a taxpayer burden of $16,600, and then Wisconsin is only $3,900, and Indiana is $2,700.
$3,900, $2,700 versus $50,000 here. And the thing too that's so interesting to me about these numbers is what you hear from people if you propose, say, to change the way we do property taxation in Illinois, do like a 1% hard cap like Indiana has, or to do something else that another state has done and found success and financial stability. Well, if you do that, then where are you going to find? It's always like, where are you going to find more money to prop up the status quo? That's the response you get, even from some erstwhile conservatives, about the structural reforms that are needed to reimagine a state that has $244 billion in unfunded liabilities and unpaid bills and debt. And I mean, it's just the psychosis involved here. Where are you going to find the money? Indiana, Wisconsin, you just mentioned, $2,500, $3,500 per taxpayer. Illinois, $50,000. Indiana and Wisconsin have schools and police forces and fire departments and local units of government and quality universities. They have all the things that we have, but not the unfunded obligations, the debt load, the usurious taxation. And just getting people out of that mindset of we can't change anything because where would we get the money? We have to change anything because there is no amount of money we can get to make this system soluble.
No, and we found that while the pension debt did go down a little bit last year because of the good pension
Market.
assets the good markets, the unfunded retiree health care went up by $8 billion, and the state reported a $9 billion deficit. So these numbers are huge and just continue to get worse. Those other states that I mentioned, their taxpayer burden actually went down last year.
And just
Illinois continues to get worse while they continue to get better.
And just to give an order of magnitude here, you quantify the state's total assets at $80 billion, right? $80 billion,
yes.
Round numbers. The unfunded pension liabilities, which went down a little bit last year, $135 billion.
Oh my God!
So I mean,
where does this the money fairy just comes?
If we
don't have funds to pay our bills.
If we liquidated everything, we could only get halfway there. It's absurd the numbers that we're talking about, the hole that we've dug, and I just don't think people are so keen to confront it, or they can't read a balance sheet.
What happens is that people get more and more cynical, and trust the government less as these numbers increase, and therefore, in order to get change, you need to trust the change agent. Well, obviously in Illinois, we do not trust the legislator and the governors to fix this. They just continually make it worse and worse and worse.
Well, when did things get bad? Like, when did people realize, this isn't going well?
Well, we have been highlighting for decades that, the state has been, quote, theoretically meeting its balanced budget requirement while it's been going into debt. But for decades, citizens were told everything is fine. We're meeting that balanced budget requirement. And, things have just gotten, as the governments were promising more and more of these promises of pensions and retiree health care without funding them, but claiming a balanced budget, things got worse while people weren't paying attention.
She is Sheila Weinberg. She's the founder of Truth in Accounting, truthinaccounting.org. Check out the reports they've done on all the states to look at what's happening in Illinois versus what's happening in a state you're going to move to.
Right. I was going to say, pick out a state you want to move to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go to our state data lab. You can compare states on 340 data points and then figure out what state to move to.
StateDataLab.org is that website. Sheila Weinberg, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. We all know
Permaseal Live, 1 minute. Permaseal Live, 1 minute.
of main sources of income fail. the odds are 100% that your current main source of income will someday no longer exist. 439 of 1955's original Fortune 500 are no longer around, yet their industries and even their product lines still thrive. What happened to these companies? Simple. They didn't believe that 100% of main sources of income fail. They never added a second revenue model. For years, my friends at Income Store have helped both households and businesses build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc.
Stand by for Permaseal Live.
Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
With the recent rainy weather, Permaseal is working hard to help homeowners across the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana areas, but they need your help. Permaseal is hiring in all departments, especially sales, customer service, and installation. They are looking for people with a great work ethic, who have ambition, positive attitude, want to learn new skills, and have a desire to make the world a better, drier place. Does this sound like you? Then go to Permaseal.com. Permaseal.net/careers. It's Permaseal.net/careers to apply today. So go to Permaseal.net/careers if you're looking for a career change or simply a dry basement. You can also call Permaseal. You know their number, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to Permaseal.net.
If you own or run a business, here's some valuable information. Right now, it's a buyer's market for business and commercial insurance. This is Jim Solkowski of DSP Insurance Services in Schaumburg. It's a really good time to take a look at all your business insurance products. We handle it all with specialists in every field. With our new clients, we review all your products every 90 days. Why? Insurance products change constantly. Do you have the most competitive program? Has your business
You are back at 2240. Take it to the bottom and send it to news.
regulations changed? We even use a legal team to help with compliance. DSP is all about being your insurance partner, the one looking out for you and your business. DSP partners with Westfield Insurance and several other insurance carriers to protect your interests. Here's a common theme we hear from our customers.
For business insurance, DSP for me.
Business insurance? DSP for me.
Get the contact information at dspforme.com. Let's review your business insurance to make sure you're protected. dspforme.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's a great product. And the one thing I like about it the most is that when you open the bottles, you can smell like the scent of the fruits and veggies. It's no genius thing to it. It's really just fruits and veggies, which everyone needs. And you guys kind of put it in a way where you can take it easy and you can get it, and it's natural, and that's what I like about it. You know, I like the product, and I've taken it, and it's definitely made me feel a lot better. You know, I'm a healthy person to begin with, but it's definitely good prevention, and it's definitely gives me energy, and I feel like it's a natural thing. I like it. I really do.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy coming to you live from Judson University in Elgin this morning. And
this place is pretty cool.
No.
I feel like we're in a ski lodge down here.
A small liberal arts college is a good way to go, actually.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Northwestern was small. It was like 7,500 students, but going even smaller to a liberal arts college, especially one that is rooted in Christianity, might have been a better call for you, especially.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Appreciate that.
I want to get Ted Cruz in D.C. getting accosted by
Oh, no.
the professional protesters, but
Where did they find him? What they do?
Well, before we get to that, I mean, it's so rare that we get anybody who actually is tuned in to Illinois state finances, has a comment, is paying attention, wants to do something about it. I feel obligated to take this call from Scott in Aurora. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, I just wanted to mention that when I looked at the electoral map, you know, for the last presidential election, the states that were blue, like early on in the night, are the ones that are all democratically run. And maybe this isn't something I should be paying attention to, but I just noticed that, and these are all the states that are deepest in debt. I was just curious if that's even something I should be paying attention to, or is that just, across the board how these states are run?
No, it's a great point you bring up. Thanks for the call, Scott. You absolutely should look at the Venn diagram between the worst governed states and who's in control of them. The blue model, the Chicago way model of governance, is a catastrophe. A catastrophe, unmitigated. Then we scaled it statewide in Illinois, and then we exported to D.C. for 8 years, you may remember. Catastrophe. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at exorbitant prices. And if you look at the most populous urban centers, I think the most populous city that's got a Republican mayor, San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're talking about the top 50 cities, all Democrat run, and look at their finances. But you absolutely should compare state to state. What's happened over the last 2 decades in Illinois as compared to Mitch Daniels' revolution in Indiana and Scott Walker's in Wisconsin and Republicans and Rick Snyder in Michigan, how they sort of clawed Michigan's way back into economic stability. Obviously, Iowa has been relatively well governed for a long period of time, and had the longest-serving Republican governor, longest-serving governor in the history of America in Branstad.
Yeah, they're number 15 right now.
Missouri. I mean, what Bevin is doing in Kentucky versus what is happening in these fortress states like California and Illinois and New York and New Jersey. Absolutely, you should look at that and take instruction away from it. All right, so turning to Ted Cruz. Ted and Heidi went out for dinner in D.C.
Oh, that's nice. Little date night, huh?
Yeah, take a little break from having to deal with that snot-nosed kid who's a year younger than him that he's running against, Beto O'Rourke. And this is the era, remember, in the infamous words of No Justice, No Peace, Maxine, wherever you find a Republican in public or anywhere else, make sure to accost them. And these professional protesters did so to Ted and his wife at this D.C. restaurant.
We believe survivors! We believe survivors! We believe survivors! We believe survivors! Beto is way hotter than you do! We believe survivors!
Beto's way hotter.
Oh, he's hotter, yeah. Dude. Dude.
We believe survivors! We believe survivors!
I believe in fair process. I believe in fair process.
Are you saying we believe appetizers?
No.
Because I'm hungry.
We believe survivors.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when I chant back. I believe in due process.
This is Heidi sitting down. And then...
So they kick the Cruzes out, or did they kick the protesters out?
Ted and Heidi left, and then after Ted and Heidi left, and it was safe for the maitre d' to intervene.
For rights of every marginalized community!
Yeah, I don't believe a baby was actually with them. I think that's our drop. But yeah, so this was so then they intervened and said, "Oh, you have to leave now that you've screamed at two of our patrons for the last minute and disrupted everybody else's dinner. Now we're going to ask you to leave."
Why don't they just arrest them?
Or stick them in the neck with a salad fork?
That would be an option.
It's just interesting, the We Believe survivors and this hysteria, and these guys that are with this woman chanting, "We believe survivors, we believe survivors." That's
where they have man buns.
This is this is the lobotomized left. All they have to offer is hate. And by the way, they tweeted about this too to congratulate
themselves,
yeah.
patting themselves on the back.
Yeah. Fascist not welcome! Exclamation point.
Oh my gosh.
Hashtag cancel Kavanaugh. I mean, I'm sorry. Again, who are the totalitarians? Who are the silencers in this discussion? Who are the people that are promoting intolerance and hate as the lead? This is consistent with the piece I referenced yesterday, which if you haven't read, you got to read this.
Which one?
Shelby Steele's piece in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend, Why the Left is Consumed with Hate. He explains it, with some historical perspective. Hate is a license. And even those on the left use it to prevent from being cannibalized by their own, or they attempt to. But here's an example of what he's talking about. Shelby Steele writing, white on black shootings evoke America's history of racism and so carry an iconic payload of menace. Black on black shootings carry no such payload, although they are truly menacing to the black community. They evoke only despair. The left gets power from fighting white evil, not black despair. The whole issue in this Kavanaugh confirmation fight has nothing to do with the truth. Do you think that these people care whether Kavanaugh assaulted his two accusers or not? They don't care what the truth is. This is useful as a cudgel in advance of them ascending to be shepherds. And as Thomas Sowell says, the left wants to be our shepherds, which would require us to be their sheep. That's what they demand. And these lobotomized leftists who can only chant and don't have another thought going on in their head except their visceral hatred of anybody not on their side are a prime example of what Shelby Steele writes about in the Wall Street Journal.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Renate Schroeder?
Name assassinator.
Renate Schroeder Dolphin. We introduce you to yet another character in the Brett Kavanaugh saga at 6:36.
And later, Howard Kurtz will be here from Fox News Channel, host of Media Buzz. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
69 degrees. We've had some rain and clouds this morning. 68 degrees. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh says he will not be going anywhere. He defends himself against sexual assault allegations and smears.
I'm not going to let false accusations drive us out of this process, and we're looking for a fair process where I can be heard and defend my integrity.
That from an interview on Fox News yesterday. Despicable is how Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell describes the fight over Brett Kavanaugh.
This shameful smear campaign has hit a new low.
Opening the Senate yesterday, McConnell said Democrats and their allies are trying to destroy Kavanaugh with decades-old baseless allegations that are uncorroborated. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says he's not meeting with President Trump while in New York for the UN General Assembly. He made those remarks to NBC News on Monday.
There is no such program.
In this upcoming segment, try to be out by 45 at the latest so we can get Howard on in time.
To bring about the atmosphere conducive to a meeting.
Rouhani is saying the U.S. must repair damage that they believe has been caused by pulling out of a 2015 nuclear deal.
10-4.
Comedian Bill Cosby will be sentenced later today. Cosby found guilty last spring of drugging and sexually assaulting former Temple University athletic staffer Andrea Constand at his home in 2004. Instagram's co-founders are rumored to be stepping away from the company. Sources close to the matter say co-founders Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger plan to leave the company in the coming weeks. Defense attorneys will call more witnesses today. Murder trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke resumes. Chicago Police Department says they are prepared for possible protests following the verdict in the Van Dyke case. Department officials say they are ready to expand shifts and cancel days off. West Suburban Catholic Schools and Southwest Suburban Church will close, and 6 parishes will merge into 3 new parishes, part of an ongoing reorganization plan announced within the Archdiocese of Chicago. Divine Infant Jesus Parish and Divine Providence Parish and School, both in Westchester, will close. And they'll merge into one new parish by the end of June 2019, while the Divine Infant Jesus School will close due to financial pressures. In LaGrange Park, St. Louise de Marillac Parish and School will merge with St. Barbara Parish in Brookfield, and Our Lady of Loretto Parish in Hometown will merge with St. Germain Parish and School in Oak Lawn. All of this happens by June 30th of next year. Pirates beat the Cubs 5-1 at Wrigley Field. Indians blanked the White Sox 4-zip. Hawks and Red Wings drop the puck in the NHL preseason tonight at 7:30. The news is a service of Unbound.org. Right now, young people across the world are facing tough choices. Continue to to continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. See how your help can change their future in a single moment. And your support can be stretched at unbound.org. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018 on Saturday, October 27th. Presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicago's retirement planning experts. This year featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group of Bartlett and by Crumweedy Roofing and Exteriors.
You remember a simpler time when family fun was about having fun. It didn't include the kids glued to their tablets or smartphones. Well, real family fun is back at Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Gobert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun.
This was the most fun day ever. My parents were there, my kids were there. There was a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and there was so much more. I loved it.
It's a family tradition for us to visit Gobert's every October. The pumpkins are great, the attractions are fun, and the apple cider donuts are to die for.
Loved it. One price to get in, and almost all the activities were free. My kids had a blast.
Listen to the kids.
My mom loves the homemade caramel apples.
I have to say, the pumpkin cannon is cool.
They got a pumpkin-eating dinosaur. The live giraffe is really cool.
I love the jumping pillow and the pumpkin express train ride.
Gobert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove. Pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com. Harvesting family memories. The following is a paid political announcement.
Do you believe Springfield works for us? Sean Thompson from Elmwood Park doesn't.
Nobody represents me, and nobody represents you. They represent themselves.
And Susan Michaud from Wheaton's home values are suffering for it.
Our property values are going down because our taxes keep going up.
Your property taxes go up, your home value goes down. The government takes your home. Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, we're all the same when it comes to property taxes. Gino Fioravanti of River Forest is leaving Illinois because of high taxes.
We're not going to be living in Illinois anymore, and it's due to the property taxes.
Sean Thompson blames both sides.
It's bipartisan failure.
You either force politicians who oppose property tax caps out of office, or they force you out of Illinois. A group of independent property tax reform candidates are running to save your home and our state now. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to take up their fight just as they have taken up yours. You stay. The politicians go, because they're the ones who suck. SaveYourHomeNow.org.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
6:37. Get an update on your roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Hey, do you have those Pablo Francisco drops yet?
Hours in Munger to crash. Not Eden.
Yes, they are the three. I'm going to put them in blue.
19.
Okay, thanks.
Kennedy. 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. How about 23? Eisenhower, 42 minutes, 390 to Burn Circle. How about 34 minutes? About I-55, delays start at 126. It's 57 minutes, 355, Lakeshore Drive. How about 46? Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. How about 17? I-57, 32 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 45. Crash the 430th, two right lanes. Tri-State southbound heavy, Thornton Quarry, Chicago Road, crash to the left lane, northbound Cicero to 75th, Reagan Floyd to Lawrence. Traffic, I'm Jim Calamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Showers and storms today with a high of 82. More showers and maybe a heavy thunderstorm overnight, low 53. Currently light rain and fog in the area, 69 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Tickets for Freedom Summit Chicago are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, coming to you live from Judson University in Elgin, Illinois. And
This place is fun. I want to go back to school.
Yeah. You should.
Does that sound creepy?
You should try going to an actual college. They're accredited and everything, unlike Iowa.
Yeah, thank you.
By the way, it's not just Kavanaugh and Blasey Ford that have a date on Thursday that's of importance to their professional career. That Weasley Rod Rosenstein does as well.
Yeah, they're going to have a meeting at the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Trump announced that yesterday. And Rod Rosenstein went to the White House yesterday, met with John Kelly. Everybody thought he was going to get fired or hand in his resignation. And
there was a statement prepared for his resignation.
For his resignation, and that didn't happen. So I don't know if Trump's going to keep him. Should Trump keep him? 312-642-5600, the turnkey.pro answer line, 64636, type in DA. Then a quick comment. I think he should wait until after the midterms.
I think
don't give any fuel to the fire.
No, sure. Like the fire needs fuel. I think I think you keep him for the comic relief. I mean, he is a funny guy. I like a prankster as my number 2 at Justice.
Hey, you know what? I got an idea. Let me wire you up, and then you can go into Marcus's office and try to get him on something, and we'll just see how it goes.
I don't need
See, if you did that, you would be fired. But Rod Rosenstein was, hypothetically considering that. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it wasn't. And he still has a job.
It's a good thing the 25th Amendment does not apply to a program
directors.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if Rosenstein does eventually go, and there's a great hope that he will, I don't know. I mean, after this escapade, where at least Lisa Page believed that he was serious about having somebody wired up to try and get essentially incriminating evidence on the President of the United States to help foster a 25th Amendment action to remove him from office. I mean, it's a remarkable story. The New York Times
and it's so detailed that he was trying to reach out to one of the cabinet members to do it.
But the New York Times anonymous source says Rosenstein refutes it, but it's sort of a Weasley refutation. If you read Andy McCarthy's piece in National Review Online, he goes through some of the details there of his sort of generic refutation. And it's always interesting when you make a blanket wave off, but you don't address the specifics. So it's sort of what Rosenstein did, which is why it's not surprising that he was preparing to be fired or to have his resignation requested. Didn't happen. But you know who would follow Rosenstein as the number 2 at Justice and oversee Mueller?
Who?
This could be a sea change in the investigation. This guy, Noel Francisco, not to be confused with comedian Pablo Francisco. That's Pablo Francisco. He's a stand-up comedian.
That?
Noel Francisco is a former law clerk for Anthony Scalia.
Oh.
That's Pablo Francisco. Noel Francisco, the law clerk. You just want to keep him straight for those of you who follow stand-up comedians, and obviously Rod Rosenstein does.
Yeah, because he's a funny guy.
He's a cut-up. I mean, the ultimate
you're
prankster.
Right, though. He looks like a weasel, doesn't he?
So it'll be good to see Rod Rosenstein exit stage left, probably immediately get some contract work with Fusion GPS.
Right. You know what? Why don't you write a book? Because everybody else is, and they hope to make millions of dollars by doing that.
You want to write a book? Go ahead, write a book. I mean, this idea like, let's keep your enemies close because otherwise you put them on the book tour with Andy McCabe. Go ahead on the book tour. I don't care. You can't have cancers in your administration at the highest levels.
Right. Because clearly he's biased and he wants to bring down his boss, whether he's joking or not. Every little joke that people say, I'm just joking, there's a bit of seriousness behind that.
The story compromises him, and frankly, his management of Mueller compromises him in belief in his integrity and fair-mindedness. And it's time to make changes that, by the way, are well within the president's executive power. The idea that the president cannot nominate and terminate executive branch officials at his leisure is absurd. It is advanced by people who are political hacks flacking for the left or completely ignorant of the Constitution. And by the way, Noel Francisco, again, not this guy. That's Pablo Francisco. Noah Francisco.
I'm going to look up this Pablo Francisco.
Noah Francisco actually has opined on the topic of executive authority. I mean, just to understand how important this decision about Rosenstein or Rosenstein's decision to leave and form a law firm with Page and Strzok, how important that is for the Mueller investigation that obviously will extend beyond the midterms. Dan and Amy, coming to you live from Judson University in Elgin.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The president's new tariffs go into effect today. Utility customers in California may have to pay for wildfire losses, and Carolina farmers face huge losses. Those stories next.
On September 17, 1787, Congress signed the U.S. Constitution, which defined our government and guarantees our rights. While Constitution Day has passed, Patriot Mobile supports the conservative values members of Congress adopted in the U.S. Constitution, and the 1787 data plans offer has been a huge success, so we're extending it through the end of the month. Patriot celebrates the Founding Fathers and your values, and is...
You are back at 47:30. Be out by 55 at the latest.
You the same nationwide reliable service with
Hey, can you pull some 40-year-old virgin drops for the top of the 7?
Again, until the end of this month, all data plans are still $17.87 for your first month of service. Plus, they'll send you a free pocket Constitution. Make the switch today. Go to patriotmobile.com or call 1-800-A-PATRIOT. Unlimited talk, text, and data for your first month, only $17.87. Go to patriotmobile.com or 1-800-A-PATRIOT.
President Trump's latest tariffs kicking in. Starting today, the U.S. is charging an additional 10% tariff on $200 billion of Chinese exports to the United States. Beijing has said it would retaliate by imposing tariffs on U.S. goods, including coffee and honey. A new California law allows utilities to bill their customers for future legal settlements stemming from devastating 2017 wildfires. The bill aimed at preventing bankruptcy for Pacific Gas and Electric Company. Critics call it a mandatory consumer bailout. Farmers in the Carolinas could face billions of dollars in agricultural damage after Hurricane Florence. North Carolina officials called the damage catastrophic, unbelievable. Early estimates come this week. Please tune in to Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I spent years studying how to make this the best. I didn't make this because I wanted to make a company. Other companies are starting to catch on to this, and I buy every single other product that comes out so I can look at it and see it and test it. And I fear that people will buy some counterfeit and take it for a couple of months and go, oh, it's a bunch of crap. It doesn't work. Don't be fooled. This is the real stuff. We have absolutely the best process, and I can say that because we purchase every single one and check them out.
I took everything that was on the market. Nothing ever worked. Nothing ever worked. And this is the first thing that's really worked.
Nothing can compare with the benefits of Balance of Nature.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Brett Kavanaugh's interview with Martha McCallum, as well as his wife Ashley, interviewed by McCallum yesterday night. And here's what Brett Kavanaugh said in terms of a blanket statement on the topic.
And I know I'm telling the truth. I know my lifelong record. And I'm not going to let false accusations drive me out of this process. I have faith in God, and I have faith in the fairness of the American people. America's about fairness and hearing from both sides. And I didn't do this or anything resembling this. This is wrong.
This is wrong. To help us interpret the postings in Brett Kavanaugh's high school yearbooks and other matters on topic, we're pleased to be joined by Howard Kurtz. He's the host of Media Buzz on Fox News Channel, also the author of the book Media Madness, Donald Trump, the Press, and the War Over the Truth. Howard, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. The media madness that I write about in the book has gone to full insanity.
Well, that's yeah. Let's talk specifics. So, what did you think of the decision by the New Yorker to run the Ronan Farrow piece about the second accuser, particularly when even the New York Times wouldn't bite on it.
Right. In fact, the New York Times spent at least a week talking to several dozen ex-classmates of Judge Kavanaugh. Couldn't come up with any corroboration. Look, I just didn't think it was up to Ronan Farrow's standards. I mean, I have applauded the work he's done on Harvey Weinstein and Les Moonves, but, you know, this story, obviously, under extreme time pressure, had the allegation from this woman, could not find anybody who was there, although this was a party supposedly attended by a lot of people. What really undercut the story is in the first few paragraphs, which is she at first wasn't sure. She had gaps in her memory. She had to struggle to remember, and she consulted with her lawyer. And then she felt confident enough to say, yeah, Brett Kavanaugh did this terrible thing to me.
Now, during that time, that 6 days that she spent with her lawyer and, you know, jogging through her memory, is it true that some Senate Democrats were also speaking to her, trying to convince her to come forward?
It is true that at least one intermediary, I believe a civil rights lawyer, went to the Dems on the Senate Judiciary Committee and told them about this case. Also, some Republicans on the committee knew about this before the story publicly popped in the New Yorker, and that's part why they were trying to sort of keep the confirmation process on track. And then, you know, oftentimes it's President Trump who does the big television sit-down to try to diffuse a controversial issue or change the subject, or, you know, the president is sort of a media master at this. And this time it was Brett Kavanaugh last night with Fox's Martha McCallum. Extraordinary spectacle, because there's never been a case where a Supreme Court nominee who is facing confirmation has gone and done a television interview, and certainly not on this kind of subject.
Well, in addition to that, this is the first time I found out, at least within kind of a rough parameters of time, that when a Supreme Court nominee has lost his virginity. I mean, how far down the rabbit hole are we here?
To know, right?
I don't. Yeah, I do not want to know when Ruth Bader Ginsburg lost her virginity.
I'm going to let that one lie right there.
Yeah. Yes, don't take the bait.
But I must say, you know, I watched my colleague Martha McCallum ask Kavanaugh about Christine Ford's allegations, about Deborah Ramirez, the one woman who surfaced in the New Yorker, and about Michael Avenatti claiming to have a woman who's going to make even more crazy, or I shouldn't say crazy, but allegations about the judge. Some of the critics of Fox saying, oh, this is going to be a total softball interview, and it was anything but. She asked him a lot of hard questions, and he was scripted at times, tried to stick to his talking points, but also was vociferous, I think, in saying that these things did not happen.
But do you think he was effective, and do you think he was believable?
I think it was a smart move on the part of the White House to put him out there, because while, you know, he's sort of been under the cone of silence and just putting out these statements so people get to see him sitting there with his wife. We have not heard, at least on camera yet. We'll see if Christine Ford testifies from either of these two women. Believable sort of depends on where you sit. I think most conservatives look at this and see it as a Democratic smear, especially with this latest case. I think most liberals want to believe that these things happen. So I think if a poll came out today, I think you'd see the country was split.
Yeah, well, probably so. And Mitch McConnell on offense yesterday as well on the Senate floor, which is somewhat unusual for McConnell. But the thing with Kavanaugh, regardless of whether you think he's credible or not, informed largely on your political persuasion, I would say Democrat senators better bring their A game on Thursday if they want to rattle this guy.
I would say that's true. I would also look at the other side and say, obviously, with 11 Republican male members of the Judiciary Committee, they're going to have to be cautious in questioning Christine Ford if indeed this hearing comes off on Thursday. But at the same time, you know, she should be pressed on her claim, because, again, where are the eyewitnesses? Where is the corroboration? You know, it's one of the fascinating things. I write a lot in Media Madness about President Trump often defying his aides and making, you know, incendiary charges on Twitter, or saying things that set off these firestorms. And his aides have a term for it. It's called defiance disorder. In this particular case with Kavanaugh, he hasn't really done much defiance. There was the one tweet, which brought a lot of media criticism, where the president said, well, if this was as bad as Christine Ford says, why didn't she report it when she was 15? Obviously, a lot of women decide it's a very personal decision not to report sexual assault. You know, again, if this happened. But the president has been unusually disciplined, even some in the media who are not
And then you have the goofy Stormy Daniels lawyer, Michael Avenatti's claim that there's evidence about an alleged gang rape. What do you know about that?
I know what I've read Avenatti popping off on Twitter about, and I always feel like I don't even think anything Avenatti says should be covered until and unless he produces somebody with a name and a face who wants to make these allegations, and then journalists should be skeptical and investigate them. He has a habit of teasing, I've got a CD, it's got all kinds of stuff on it, and then he doesn't deliver.
Yeah.
And obviously, he wants to run for president. He's a huge partisan. The guy has been on television every 10 minutes since he got into the Stormy case. So a little caution, folks.
I would, second that emotion for sure. And just sticking on the topic, since this is the space in which you're an expert, I mean, how slimy is the D.C. press corps? The New Yorker piece is one thing. The Daily Beast yesterday, there might be as many as four accusers of Kavanaugh, just trying to kind of further the story and pile up the numbers. When the third was refuted by local law enforcement in Maryland, they're not investigating any additional claim against Kavanaugh. No report has been made, and no name has surfaced. And then the fourth is what we were just referencing, Michael Avenatti, Stormy Daniels' primordial attorney, bloviating on Twitter. And that's enough for a news outlet to report, we're up to 4.
Well, I would never write such a story. And at the same time, I think some in the Washington press corps have shown some restraint when it comes to these very sensitive and yet unproven allegations. And then, as I say, the New Yorker piece, it's hard for me to see, given the holes that are acknowledged in the piece itself, and the fact that some of the people who were named by this new woman, Deborah Ramirez, as being at the party, said they don't see anything, they don't recall anything. So it seems to me to be unproven. But I will say this, and that is, I think this has the potential to backfire. There's a lot of media coverage about every accuser who comes forward, regardless of complete lack of substantiation. It's going to fuel Republican charges that this is a coordinated smear attempt. And we just had Christine Ford. It was, seemingly one potential problem for a guy who's had a pretty stellar career in Brett Kavanaugh. But now that other women are coming forward, and I would never say women who believe they have been wrong should come forward, but I think it's all getting conflated into one big story. And if the stories that are potentially more serious get thrown in with the Avenatti stuff, I think it hurts the cause of those who want to defeat them.
He is Howard Kurtz. He's host of Media Buzz on Fox News, author of the book Media Madness, Donald Trump, the Press, and the War Over the Truth. Howard, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great to talk to you guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Listen up, Chicago area. Are you interested in making some extra cash buying real estate tax liens? The real estate
Upstream Ideas Live in 50 seconds. Upstream Ideas Live, 50 seconds.
Their simple 3-step formula and their proprietary website to earn secured returns, potentially up to 25%. It's so simple. You can do this in your pajamas from the comfort of your own home. Just point, click, and start buying tax liens right through their website anywhere in the U.S. And they're completely secured by the government. So if you're looking to become a real estate investor without getting dirty fixing up houses, then call 1-800-570-7120 now to get your free tax lien kit. Then get ready to buy tax liens for as low as a few $100s working only part-time. Call 800-570-7120 right now to get your free tax lien kit. Plus, 2 free tickets to a live training event, which includes a free...
Stand by for Upstream Ideas Live.
800-570-7120. That's 800-570-7120 for your free tax lien kit now. Individual results may vary.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series, this week featuring State Representative LaShawn Ford, west side of Chicago. LaShawn thinks he and I together can save Chicago and save Illinois. I'm a bit skeptical, but it was a really good conversation. It's worth checking out. LaShawn is a thoughtful guy. He's not just a MAGA and apparatchik, even though he's a Democrat. So check out that interview and share it with your friends. And follow the Logic Man on the Street segments, also at upstream-ideas.com, my 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com. Free property tax report on your home, updated home sales and property tax information on your community for the first half of 2018. All the home sales and property tax info, defendhomeowners.com. Everything else, upstream-ideas.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
When he went to
Straight to legal ID, clear till top.
promised to fight for Hoosier seniors. But to be a fighter, you first have to show up. Seems that Donnelly skipped nearly 1/3 of Senate Aging Committee hearings, including on serious issues like Medicare and protecting financial security for seniors. So what was Donnelly doing when he was supposed to be fighting for us? Maybe Donnelly was out driving in that RV of his, like in his TV ads. Or maybe he was filling up that RV with campaign cash. Donnelly has taken more than $2.5 million from special interest lobbyists and lawyers. And Donnelly has repeatedly voted to help his special interest backers. Typical Washington. Old Joe shows up for special interest lobbyists and lawyers, but not for us. Sounds like Donnelly's taking Hoosiers for a ride. It's time to fire No-Show Joe. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Brett Kavanaugh says he's telling the truth. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I've never sexually assaulted anyone, not in high school, not ever.
The Supreme Court nominee denying to Fox allegations from two women. One claims he groped and tried to assault her at a party when he was 17. The other says Kavanaugh exposed himself to her at a college party.
If such a thing had happened, it would have been the talk of campus.
Kavanaugh and his first accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, will testify at the Senate Thursday. Democrats, like Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, keep demanding an FBI investigation, asking Republicans,
what are you afraid of? What are you hiding? What is Judge Kavanaugh hiding?
But White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders just told Fox,
I do think it's unfair to continue to drag the process out and continue to put good people through the ringer.
Now, President Trump will address world leaders later this morning at the UN, where Fox's Tanya J. Powers is live in New York.
President Trump is set to speak around 11:15 or 10:15 rather Eastern time. He is expected to double down on his America First commitment. He could even voice more criticism of the UN itself. Now, he has a bilateral meeting as well as a working lunch later on with the UN Secretary General. Other speakers of note today include President of Turkey Erdogan, French President Macron, and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. Dave.
And Tanya, the president's expected to be harsh, talking about Iran this morning as well. Bill Cosby will find out today if he'll go behind bars for sexual assault. Fox's Gernal Scott live at the court in Pennsylvania.
Dave, today we will begin likely with a defense psychologist testifying as to why Cosby should not be designated a sexually violent predator. That is key to his sentencing. Unless Cosby has something to say on his own behalf, sentencing will likely follow that. Prosecutors asked for 5 to 10 years. The defense wants house arrest. The expectation, anywhere from 1 to 4 years behind bars. The defense is expected to appeal any jail time.
Fox News.
Skies are cloudy. We've had rain showers and some fog in the area. 69 degrees. Muggy this morning at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. I'm Mike Scott. Defense attorneys will call more witnesses today as the murder trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke resumes. A forensic pathologist who testified Monday for the defense criticized official autopsy results. Chaku T's testimony seems to contradict what the video of the 2014 shooting of Laquan McDonald shows. Chicago Police Department says they are prepared for possible protesting following the verdict in the Van Dyke case. Department officials say they're ready to expand shifts and cancel days off. More men who were convicted of crimes linked to corrupt ex-Chicago Police Sergeant Ronald Watts are being exonerated. 18 men had their drug convictions thrown out during a hearing yesterday. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox spoke to reporters after the hearing.
We must have a criminal justice system that has integrity and credibility. That means that we have to admit when things have gone wrong and actively work to fix it.
So far, a total of 42 convictions linked to the former officer have been overturned. Authorities are investigating after a missing man, Paul Carr, was found dead in a field in Wakanda. 6 suspects in a Riverside ATM robbery crashed into a tree late last night, spreading large amounts of cash across the area. 6 people robbed that ATM at a Bank of America branch on Harlem Avenue as a professional company was loading it. Police located the suspects after a short pursuit during which officers were shot at. Suspect's car then fled again down Burlington Avenue, crashing into a tree, rolling and ejecting some of the suspects. All 6 were hospitalized. Several weapons were recovered, as well as the cash. Chicago sports. Pirates beat the Cubs 5-1. Indians blank the White Sox 4-0 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Blackhawks take on the Red Wings tonight in the NHL preseason with a puck drop at 7:30. The news is a service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor, and do your part to release a child from poverty today. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Are customers passing you by because it's a major hassle to park in your lot? Convenient and safe parking may be one of the most overlooked aspects of your business. You've neglected your parking lot for way too many years. It's falling apart and could be scaring business away. Pavement Solutions can get your parking lot in shape. With proper care, you can extend the life of your current lot with Pavement Solutions' certified specialty blend product called Gem Seal, Black Diamond, and Duramax. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but the best seal coat product in the industry. It'll protect your lot from sub-zero temperatures to a scorching 110-degree sun and features an abrasive, non-slip coat for safety and durability. With Enduramax, your lot will have that brand new feel and look at a fraction of the price of a new lot. You and your customers will be safe, and your business will look great. For parking lot repairs to snow removal, go to fixmylots.org. That's fixmylots.org. And get a free estimate. Plus, learn about getting 5% off your next job from Pavement Solutions.
I used to post to job boards.
Only to sort through tons of resumes.
Just to find a few candidates for
my sales team.
My hair salons.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Noted author, former chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user Dr. Bob Arnott.
The human body has billions of pain receptors. Block those receptors with the anesthetics found in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, and you'll have relief. Salonpas Lidocaine Plus contains 2 anesthetics, including the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. They numb aggravated nerves for effective, lasting relief. For relief, try what I use, Salonpas Lidocaine Plus.
In the silver box with the blue wave.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
You can't change the whole world, but you can be part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty by becoming a Compassion International child sponsor. You can choose a child to sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. That's compassion.com/radio.
7:08, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
In Bartlett, Stearns is closed. Howes, Munger, crashed. Northbound Tri-State traffic bumper to bumper. Cicero to 75th. Reagan, Philly, Most, way to Lawrence. But Adams, Philly, heavy from the Tri-State to Kennedy. 8094 westbound towards Bishop Fort. There's a crash near 130th. 2 right lanes blocked. It is 45-minute drive, 8094 to Ryan. I-57, 42 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. About 8 inches jammed, Will to Dial Center after crash. 45 minutes, Lake Cook to Mont Cruz. Kennedy, 55 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, quicker than the express. Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, an hour and 18 minutes, 355 to the drive. traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center and our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly cloudy with a couple of morning showers, then a heavy late afternoon thunderstorm, which could bring flash flooding and damaging winds, followed by evening showers and a heavy thunderstorm. High today 82 and a low tonight 53. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Light rain and fog in the area, 69 at O'Hare. Next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Judson University in Elgin this morning. And
in case you're a student here, they have free donuts here.
Yeah. I don't know that they have free donuts regularly, but I think
No,
they do for
but
us.
today,
Yeah.
any student that comes by here at Judson University can get a free cup of coffee and some donuts.
And because this
donuts.
And because this is a small Christian university, we're obviously spending our entire show talking about things that appeal to prurient interests.
Exactly.
Sexual innuendo and terms that you don't want to define and
Such as
salacious allegations.
Boofing.
That would be a
Well,
good example of
boofing,
one.
it actually means keeping your kayak tip above the water.
I don't think that's what it means in this context, the Kavanaugh
That's what a
context.
professor told me here
Is
at
that
Judson
right?
University. No, it's a technical term for kayaking.
I think that professor just didn't think you were ready to hear the other meaning. I didn't think he thought you were mature enough that you could take it. All right, so Brett Kavanaugh and his wife sat down with Martha McCallum yesterday, and I'm sure many in our listening audience watched. And I'd be interested in your take on how Kavanaugh came across and what you think that portends for Thursday, assuming the hearing goes on as scheduled, featuring both Blasey Ford as well as Kavanaugh. Because it seems to me he almost was still a little bit shell-shocked from the allegations.
Oh, yeah. It tears on your soul when people try to rip your credibility.
I think that there are, people that are questioning whether or not Kavanaugh could do it. I think because they're not really thinking through exactly who the left is and the depths to which they are willing to sink. The idea that, hey, look, if that was me, that would never happen to me because I've never done anything like that. And it's hard to wrap your mind around the concept that it doesn't matter if you've ever done anything like that. And it doesn't matter what the truth of these allegations is to the left. This is about power politics, identity politics, as the wrapper on power politics to stop Kavanaugh, to protect 50 years, to try and protect at least at minimum 50 years of cultural Marxist victories at the Supreme Court level that could not be obtained at the legislative level, and also, assuming that you can't do those two things, at minimum, midterm turnout to take back the House, maybe have a chance to take back the Senate, to impeach Trump, defang this administration, and restore left-wing order to D.C. That's what this is about. So Kavanaugh and the accusers are bit players in this leftist drama. And I think if you don't understand that, you have a very difficult time assimilating the grotesqueness that you see displayed before you. And it continued last night with Kavanaugh basically saying, look, all I want is an opportunity to respond.
I am looking for a fair process, a process where I can defend my integrity and clear my name. And all I'm asking for is fairness and that I be heard in this process.
312-642-5600, Turnkey.Pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.Pro text line. Kavanaugh responded to McCallum's specific question on the Blasey Ford allegations in detail.
No, I've never sexually assaulted anyone. not in high school, not ever. I've always treated women with dignity and respect. Listen to the people who've known me best through my whole life, the women who've known me since high school, the 65 who overnight signed a letter from high school saying I always treated them with dignity and respect.
But with regards to Christine Ford, do you know her?
I may have met her. We did not travel in the same social circles. She was not a friend, not someone I knew.
You don't remember ever being at parties with her ever?
I do not. And this is an allegation about a party in the summer of 1982 at a house near Connecticut Avenue and East-West Highway with 5 people present. I was never at any such party. The other people who are alleged to be present have said they do not remember any such party. A woman who was present, another woman who was present, who is Dr. Ford's lifelong friend, has said she doesn't know me and never remembers being at a party with me at any time in her life. All I'm asking for is a fair process where I can be heard.
And he produced his Snoopy calendar from 1982 to prove that that party wasn't on his calendar.
Well, actually, he is going to bring a calendar. They have to submit evidence by 9 a.m. our time. Both sides have to submit anything that they have, any physical evidence that they have to prove where they might have been during that time period that she claims that he was at this party.
Right. He is also going to produce his Steve Austin action figure in its original packaging to enter into evidence, just as an example, an exhibit of what he was doing during his high school years when he was alleged to be assaulting women. I mean, and that's where this interview, I mean, this has got to such a bizarre place. Are we really here? Are we really here talking about when a nominee for Supreme Court, or anybody, frankly, when they lost their virginity?
I did not have sexual intercourse or anything close to sexual intercourse in high school or for many years thereafter. And the girls from the schools I went to and I were friends.
So you're saying that through all these years that are in question, you were a virgin?
That's correct.
Never had sexual intercourse with anyone in high school?
Correct.
And through what years in college, since we're probing into your personal life here?
Many years after. I'll leave it at that. Many years after.
And she didn't do the follow-ups. And who was your first? Thank goodness.
I mean, it's just...
Oh, I know. It's so bizarre.
It's amazing. I mean,
it's the world we live in, though.
I picture him like Anthony Michael Hall in Weird Science with a bra wrapped on his head, answering these questions. I mean... You know, the idea that you're going to turn the 40-year-old virgin into Harvey Weinstein shows you how talented the left thinks they are and how gullible they think you are.
He was compassionate about, you know, Christine Ford a little bit, saying that, yeah, maybe something happened to her, but it was not me.
I am not questioning and have not questioned that perhaps Dr. Ford at some point in her life was sexually assaulted by someone in some place. But what I know is I've never sexually assaulted anyone in high school or at any time.
So when she says there's no doubt in her mind that it was you, because she was asked that, is it possible that you maybe confused him, maybe it's mistaken identity, maybe it was someone else? She said absolutely not.
I've never sexually assaulted anyone. I was not at the party described. I was not anywhere at any place resembling that in the summer of 1982. The other people alleged to be there don't say anything like that. And the woman who's alleged to be there, who's her friend, says that she doesn't know me and doesn't recall ever being at a party with me in her life.
I mean, I feel like this interview should take place in a principal's office. This is just remarkable. Kavanaugh also addressed the question of drinking because the New York Times and other outlets are poring over high school yearbooks.
Well, they're painting him as a bad boy beer guy. So ridiculous, him and his friends.
The Georgetown Prep High School featured lots of football and beach parties with heavy drinking.
Oh my God.
Have you ever been blackout drunk such that you never remembered anything, Brett Kavanaugh?
Were there times when perhaps you drank so much, was there ever a time that you drank so much that you couldn't remember what happened the night before?
No, that never happened.
You never said to anyone, I don't remember anything about last night?
No. That did not happen.
Did you ever have any sense that any kind of the description of the behavior that I just described with these, you know, women being taken into rooms and raped or having sex with a number of men, consensual or otherwise, that was going on at the parties that you were at?
I never saw any such thing. any such thing. I certainly never participated in any such thing, but I never saw or heard of any such thing.
Meanwhile, half of Congress would have to respond to the question. Yes, I have been that drunk that I don't remember anything that happened. I call it Wednesday. I mean, it is Here's the other thing that, like, the scum like Avenatti and some of these other smearmongers on the left do. They make allegations so over the top and salacious, the gang rape allegations and all this other stuff.
Allegedly going to come out today or tomorrow, this alleged victim.
All this stuff that's floating around. If you make it, we start here and then we have to go over the top. And so CNN reports one thing and Rachel Maddow's producers say, well, CNN said this, so we're going to have to beat that by being even more hysterical, hyperventilating, more, coming up with allegations that are even more outrageous and that even do greater to shock the conscience. That's what this is. It's like a contest, because then all we talk about is the severity of the allegations or the unbelievable nature of the allegations, rather than the fact that there's no corroboration for a single word that has been said.
And meanwhile, they have 2 young kids, and they have to explain this to them. And it is disheartening. And here's Ashley Kavanaugh.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to have these conversations with your children, which we've had to have. Some broader terms for our youngest, but they know Brett and they know the truth. And we told them at the very beginning of this process, this will be not fun sometimes. You're going to hear things that people feel strongly, and you need to know that, and just remember, you know your dad.
Take a couple of your calls. Annie on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I believe him 100%. I think this is ridiculous. It's a move to try and, not vote until after the midterms. And I agree with you, Dan. The left is very dangerous, and Americans need to wake up. They'll do anything to ruin our way of life. They're a miserable group of people, and they're an evil group of people. And they'll do anything to ruin America, and that's what they're doing right now. And I think good people need to stand up. The Republicans need to get a backbone and start, fighting this. And this is all about Trump because he won the election. That's what it's all about, because they hate him.
Thanks for the call, Annie. Appreciate it. Mitch McConnell showed a little backbone yesterday, which was nice to see. You don't always see it.
He has one.
Candace in DuPage.
Good morning. I think you guys, I have a few comments. This is a little bit about Title IX as well, because they lost that, and now they're trying to do that to the public, which is, we don't need due process. We have to believe everybody. But I was a little bit disappointed in Martha's interview, because you see that one part, Amy and Dan, like where she goes, she repeated the question 3 times. She kept saying to him, and I thought it was kind of like insinuating something, and he was uncomfortable with it. She said, what exactly do you think this is all about?
Yeah.
Do you remember that part?
Yeah. But,
I do.
So
I didn't like it.
Well, but I think that was, and this was throughout the interview, Kavanaugh was very disciplined to not
fall
respond,
for the bait, really.
to not respond to questions about people's motives. What is this all about? Why is this person saying this? I don't know. Here's what I know. He just stuck to he stuck to what he knows, and what he knows to be true, and what other people have said and done on his behalf. The 87 women who had a press conference on Friday, all the high school classmates who signed a letter of support. He just kept it there, because if you start to comment on people's motives, then that becomes the headline.
Yeah, he did really well. I really liked him.
Yeah, and he said fair
Thanks,
process
Candace.
about 20 times, which is true, which he was measured, and he was, I thought he was perfect, and this might be a preview of what we're going to see on Thursday.
Margot in Burr Ridge.
Yeah, I thought it was a juxtaposition of what they've done to him and how he still remained a gentleman. She asked him specifically, well, when did you lose your virginity? And he was not one to kiss and tell. Of course, the next question, and who was that? He's protecting whoever that person was. And yet his private life has not been protected at all. It's been made up and sullied. Anyway, I just thought it was very interesting. The left never seems to have any regard for privacy.
Yeah, thanks for ironically, right, when they wave the flag of privacy all around. Thanks for the call, Margot. I look forward to Thursday's hearing when maybe we'll find out when Chuck Grassley lost his virginity.
And speaking of virginity, you guys don't need to email me and tell me about how you lost your virginity. I don't need to know this. Some listeners have been emailing me, and I'm okay.
On the other hand, I would like to know, so please email me. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Judson University.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560.
Back at 2820, take it to the bottom, send it to news.
Dated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
Chicago has long been a hub of architectural innovation, and the future of Chicago building isn't stopping anytime soon. At Ozinga, we believe it's important to continue pushing the boundaries of the construction industry, but it can't be accomplished alone. Let's build this city with ingenuity, sustainability, and
Hey,
with
Justin.
heart. But more importantly,
Yes.
Which are both of those bites playable?
This
that
is a
are
special
what are the
notice
bites
to
for
all
Cosby?
U.S. taxpayers. If you
The top one is the Puddin' Pop, and then the bottom one is the theme to the Cosby Show.
There's good news. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Qualifying for this program will resolve your tax problem, end all collections, and possibly reduce your back taxes by up to 90%. If you are facing wage garnishments, liens, bank levies, audits, or payroll taxes, it's not too late. Your circumstances may qualify you for this special program, protecting your savings and your assets. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's no need to worry anymore. Call the hotline at Victory Tax Solutions to see if you qualify and potentially save thousands. For this free information, call 800-813-1105. 800-813-1105. That's 800-813-1105.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I thought I had a sinus headache for a few days, but I had a massive brain aneurysm, hemorrhage of the brain, and a stroke. And I was on my deathbed. I was on a respirator in a coma for 35 days. And 3 months later, I came home in a wheelchair. I had double vision. I had to learn to walk again, to speak again. 1 and 1 is 2, write the alphabet. You know, if I went out and did a little something, I'd come home, I'd be in bed. Now, I'm up by like 5:30 in the morning, and I go to the gym. I do shopping, I cook, I have energy all day. I mean, I feel great. Overall, my whole outlook, just feeling, my mental aspect, everything is better.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Makers and doers, have you heard of the Technology and Manufacturing Association? TMA represents nearly 1,000 manufacturers and over 30,000 manufacturing employees in the Chicagoland region. Headquartered in Schaumburg, TMA is a comprehensive resource for Midwest manufacturers looking to improve operations, strengthen their workforce, and grow their business. We strengthen our members by providing business support services, events, networking opportunities, and government advocacy. TMA is also a leader in training and education, helping our manufacturers develop the talent they need to grow and thrive. At our Schaumburg Training Center, our industry-leading instructors are providing hands-on training to prepare the next generation of makers. The TMA Education Foundation has donated over $1.5 million to area schools, providing young people with exposure to today's high-tech and high-paying manufacturing jobs. As a leading voice in an evolving industry, TMA cultivates and strengthens our members. Consider joining our member-driven association as we support each other. Learn more at tmaillinois.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, live from Judson University this morning. Real quick, Bob in Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, I just want to let you know I'm the other Bob from Waukegan. I'm a Gold Star dad, but I've also been accused of being a pedophile. The young lady that accused me just shouted out in my neighborhood. It was put on Facebook, and when I visited my school that I'm associated with through being a deacon, the principal had to call me in and said, "Hey, what's this all about?" And I was flabbergasted. The problem being is no matter how much they prove me not guilty, there are other people in the world that are always going to look askance at you, no matter what you do. And it's innocent, and everything that you've proven to be and what it all is all about, it's a pale that comes over you, people, when they see you.
And what? How did your case resolve itself, or did it?
I was investigated through the Archdiocese of Chicago. They called up all my friends. They called up the person that was accusing me, and the person that accused me refused to give any kind of statement. And so it was dropped. There was no person or no a person who they said who I had any kind of relationships with or whatever. No one can prove anything.
And now you're in Ray Donovan's position, right? Reagan's former labor secretary, after he was acquitted on federal corruption charges. Where did I go to get my reputation back?
Yeah.
Bob, thanks so much for the call. Sorry that happened to you. And by the way,
it's traumatic too when you're wrongly accused of something, and only compiled with the fact that the accuser won't come forward anymore and testify.
by the way, Bob Goldstar, father. So thank you for your child sacrifice for our country. In addition to that, this does happen. I mean, do we forget the Duke Lacrosse case?
Right. I remember what happened to you, that crazy lady who claimed something against you. I mean, people just say things for just to be vindictive, or some people might be suffering from mental illness.
Right.
I mean, these people that are coming forward with false accusations for a political agenda, they make it harder for the real victims out there. Because I'll tell you one thing, if I was sexually assaulted and I could face my accuser, I would walk from California to Washington, D.C. to get there. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to His Honor, the esteemed president of Judson University, where we're broadcasting from this morning. He is Dr. Gene Kroom. You know what, I got to say, I'm not going to call him doctor. Just Gene, unless you can prescribe medicine, you're not a doctor. We have to stop this with academics. At 7:37.
And later on, how much time will Puddin' Pop spend in prison? But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Gray skies, rain showers, and some fog in the area. 69 degrees at 7:31. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh says he's not going anywhere as he defends himself against sexual assault allegations.
The truth is, I've never sexually assaulted anyone in high school or otherwise. I am not questioning and have not questioned that perhaps Dr. Ford at some point in her life was sexually assaulted by someone in some place. But what I know is I've never sexually assaulted anyone.
In an interview on Fox News, the federal judge denied accusations, but attorney Michael Avenatti says another woman who he says has information about sexual misconduct allegations against Brett Kavanaugh may go public within the next 48 hours.
She is 100% credible, and when the American people hear from her, they will determine, as I have, that she is to be believed.
Avenatti says that's what will happen, he believes, when his client shares her account with him. Flooding 5 to 10 feet deep threatens to sweep across Georgetown, South Carolina in the next few days, and emergency officials are pleading with around 10,000 this morning to evacuate. The Dallas police officer who killed an unarmed black neighbor after mistakenly going into his apartment is now out of a job. The department fired Officer Amber Geiger yesterday. Instagram's co-founders are rumored to be stepping away from the company. Sources close to the matter say co-founders Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger plan to leave in the coming weeks. Defense attorneys are expected to call more witnesses today as the murder trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke resumes. More men who were convicted of crimes linked to corrupt ex-Chicago police sergeant Ronald Watts are being exonerated. 18 men had their drug convictions thrown out during a hearing yesterday. And a former Orland Township employee is accused of stealing nearly $60,000 in taxpayer funds. Michelle Patras was charged yesterday with theft of government property and continuing a financial crimes enterprise. Pirates beat the Cubs. Indians blank the White Sox on the ice tonight. Blackhawks take on the Red Wings. The news service of Compassion International. You can't change the whole world, but you can be part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty by becoming a Compassion International child sponsor. Choose a child to sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the downfall of our society.
A man who has led an exemplary life is accused of groping a girl in high school, and it's derailing his nomination to the Supreme Court. And I am not supposed to think my society is sick, but it doesn't matter to the left. The left is a moral fraud.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Do you believe Springfield works for us? Sean Thompson from Elmwood Park doesn't.
Nobody represents me, and nobody represents you. They represent themselves.
Ann Peterson from West Chicago isn't getting her money's worth out of Springfield.
I don't believe that we're getting additional value for the additional taxes that we're paying.
Your property taxes go up, your home value goes down. Politicians waste your money. The government takes your home. Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, we're all the same when it comes to property taxes. Gino Fioravanti of River Forest is leaving Illinois because of high taxes.
We're not going to be living in Illinois anymore, and it's due to the property taxes. They've just gotten out of control.
It's bipartisan failure.
You either force politicians who oppose property tax caps out of office, or they force you out of Illinois. A group of independent property tax reform candidates are running to save your home. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to take up their fight just as they have taken up yours. You stay. The politicians go, because they're the ones who suck. SaveYourHomeNow.org.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Listen up, Chicago area. Are you interested in making some extra cash buying real estate tax liens? The Real Estate and Tax Lien Network is offering a free tax lien kit that'll show you how to use their simple 3-step formula and their proprietary website to earn secured returns, potentially up to 25%. It's so simple. You can do this in your pajamas from the comfort of your own home. Just point, click, and start buying tax liens right through their website anywhere in the U.S. And they're completely secured by the government. So if you're looking to become a real estate investor without getting dirty fixing up houses, then call 1-800-570-7120 now to get your free tax lien kit. Then get ready to buy tax liens for as low as a few $100s, working only part-time. Call 800-570-7120 right now to get your free tax lien kit. Plus, 2 free tickets to a live training event, which includes a free smartwatch just for attending. Call 800-570-7120. That's 800-570-7120 for your free tax lien kit now. Individual results may vary.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Megan Crane. A weekly conversation about top political issues ahead of the upcoming midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:37, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway traffic now very heavy. I-55 to the Reagan Tollway at Butterfield to St. Charles. Southbound 53 has roadwork delays. Euclid Higgins. Eastbound I-80 it's slow going. Range Road to I-57. About 8 inch jammed. Willow Junction. It's 40 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 30. Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 56 minutes. Eisenhower, an hour and 14 minutes. 390 to the Circle. 41 minutes. Manheim. Outbound an hour to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 55 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford, an hour and 5 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Crash before 130th, 2 right lanes. Traffic, I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Showers and storms could bring some flash flooding and damaging winds. High of 82 later today, a low of 53 overnight. Only a high of 65, sunny and breezy tomorrow. Currently light rain and fog in the area, 69 degrees. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Judson University in Elgin.
I think the entire soccer team is here, by the way.
Oh, nice.
They're here for the free donuts and coffee.
I don't know. I have the heart to break it to them that soccer's not a sport.
Oh, will
I don't
you
know.
stop? Please attack.
I have a long-standing relationship with Judson University because I'm a pillar of the community.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
so I participated in the World Leaders Forum that Judson University puts on, which is great. I think it's been something that's really put them kind of on the map in terms of intellectual circles in Chicago, bringing in world leaders. There was a great, they actually have debates here. Debate between Newt Gingrich and Howard Dean that I sort of moderated this past year, which was a lot of fun. And we're pleased to be joined by Judson University President Gene Krum for more on these topics, including here at Judson University, they actually celebrate the United States Constitution like the Constitution Day and have programming around that. What a remarkable insight that you have, Gene.
Yeah, it is. We any institution that accepts federal money is supposed to do something to express the meaning of the Constitution. Many institutions do that very thinly, but we take it very seriously as part of our learning for our students, and we dedicate one of our chapel days to Constitution Day.
Yeah, a number of law schools just tweet out, "Hey, it's Constitution Day."
You'll see a lot
And
of
that's
social
it.
media, and that'll be about the extent of it.
Same thing at Justice. They just tweeted, hey, it's Constitution Day, but we're not paying attention to it. It's sort of the same thing that happens there. And a part of the programming is our friend Eric Metaxas, who's joining us at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. He's going to be on campus today.
He will. He'll be speaking to our students today, some community leaders. He has a community event at one of our church partners in the area, and then he will be our chapel speaker tomorrow.
And did he require that everybody read all 500 pages of his book on Martin Luther prior to his
He
appearance?
required that everybody read every one of his books before he spoke
yeah.
to make sure, the audience.
Some easy reading.
Yeah, was fully prepared, probably 10,000 pages maybe.
The very distinguished Bonhoeffer from Wilberforce from Martin Luther. Boy,
Right.
That should be, this is the kind of discussion you get, not at Iowa, at Judson University.
Now, you are a doctor.
I am a doctor.
But Dan is refusing to call you that. So tell us the story about your father.
Yeah, so my when I earned my doctoral degree, my dad would introduce me and say, this is my son. He's Dr. Krum, but he's the kind of doctor that can't help anybody.
It's perfect. I love it. Yeah, your dad is a man after my own heart. Exactly right. No offense, but I mean, let's just, all these doctors.
I've never had to use it on an airplane. We need a doctor. I'm a doctor. And
right. So
here's a quiz.
What did you write your dissertation?
That's right. Here's your quiz.
What was it? What's your doctorate in?
I have a PhD in education.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what did you write your dissertation?
What are you going to use that for?
What was the premise of your dissertation?
What's that?
What was your dissertation
Actually,
about?
my dissertation was on visionary leadership.
Okay.
So it was something I think that was very practical and something that could be applied for the rest of my career. And so it was an area of research that I enjoyed immensely.
And you come to Judson University by way of other experiences and
Right.
leadership positions at the collegiate level, including Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers. I know all Division I nicknames.
Yes, you do.
And so how Judson University is a small Christian liberal arts school, how is it different from some of your previous experiences, and how does it kind of separate itself here in the region?
Well, one of the advantages of being at a smaller institution like Judson is, as I share with our students, good news and bad news. Good news is, as a student, you're going to be known here. Bad news is, as a student, you're going to be known here.
Right.
There's nowhere to get lost. We're going to be involved in your life, and that's part of the fun. Yeah, I still teach a class each semester. I've got 5 or 6 of my students in class with me today, and the nice thing is you get to know your faculty, your staff, and your students really, really well. So that is a tremendous advantage. The other advantage is when we have events like this, Eric Metaxas, when Newt Gingrich and Howard Dean were here, there's more intimacy in how they connect with the audience, how they connect with the campus community. So it just brings a different level of learning because the students and the faculty are more involved in what's taking place.
Now, you said student enrollment is average for this year, the number of students that you have, but you're competing against other universities to try and get students, some from Illinois high schools, and tell us what the difficulty it is with that.
Well, there's a couple of challenges that we face in Illinois. One is that the number of high school graduates will continue to decline meaningfully between now and 2035. The other part, for 5 consecutive years now, we've had more people moving out of the state than into the state, and a sizable number of those people moving out of the state are families. And then you just can drive around Chicagoland and look at the billboards and see universities from contiguous states and from from universities 2 or 3 states away. There's a lot of competition for the students in this marketplace. So you have to diversify your student portfolio. We've got a great group of traditional students. We also have a campus in Rockford. We partner with the Y. Our campus is located in their facility. They help provide childcare for our students that attend that. That's an adult population. We have a robust graduate program. So you have to have different streams of student engagement to be a small private institution like Judson to be successful.
Have you thought about trailering this place and going to Northwest Indiana or Pleasant Prairie? Is that too involved?
No, our home is in Elgin. This is where we are. This is where we live. So
Well, it's a gorgeous campus.
it is. Thank you. 90 acres on the Fox River, Tyler Creek. It's a great location.
And also, too, I mean, just the Christian liberal arts piece of it, too. I mean, I grew up in Wheaton, so I'm very familiar with Wheaton College. 7-time attendee to the Crusader basketball camp, when they were allowed to be called the Crusaders. And
Yeah,
so,
your jump shot is fantastic.
so the
really.
importance of that for the surrounding community, but also how much that attracts students. I think my sense is at the high school level and at the collegiate level, there is more of a yearning for that because of what's happening at so many college campuses. And we've talked to our friend Everett Piper at Oklahoma Wesleyan about this topic as well. He seems to agree.
Yes, we lead with our faith. I mean, we're very clear and distinct in our identity and who we are. We don't compromise that. That's what makes us distinct in the marketplace, is our faith identity. The other part of the faith identity piece is that we're a very values-based institution. So we just do things differently. We don't have a student discipline process. We have a redemptive process where we talk about if somebody stubs their toe, makes a mistake, what does it look like to bounce back from that? That should be as important as what did you learn from the experience. So it's not punitive. It's about helping the student grow. And I'm one of those weird individuals in higher ed. I've been at 2-year schools and 4-year schools. I've been at high reputation schools, low reputation schools, public and private. So I've kind of covered the waterfront. It's just a different community at an institution like Judson, where we take care of each other and we take things very seriously, but we also have a lot of fellowship and good time.
That's interesting. I mean, the idea of like picking up, I mean, it's a small enough community where you pick people up when they fall down rather than just sort of, isolate them.
Yeah, it is. There are times if you're at a state institution where I have been, where if there's a student disciplinary issue, the student's kicked out of school. There's no question to ask. I mean, it's just what the procedures tell you to do, and oftentimes what the legal counsel is. And we go through a more laborious process than that. So it's about helping that person become stronger and more whole on the other side of it. That's very important.
I like that a lot because I think one of the things that's lacking in education generally is judgment calls.
Yeah.
Judgment calls that are values-based, as opposed to, no, we have this handbook of policies and procedures, and we're going to force feed every potential fact pattern into these policies and procedures.
Right. We may go off script, but we'll never go away from our identity, and our identity is to care for each other. That's what our faith community does, and so it requires a lot more work, requires a lot more energy, but frankly, it's much more rewarding. I mentioned my dad earlier. My mom was also a school teacher, and they were the type of educators that back in the day you could actually hug your students without any fear of retribution or misinterpretation of what that caring for your student meant or looked like. And so we hope to emulate that here at Judson.
Now, in the past 5 years, it seems as if college students have been in control and taking over the professors and deciding what kind of curriculum they want and if they want grades or not. That will never happen here, right? We still have adults in the room.
Well, we do. I'm sure there are plenty of people on campus question whether their president's an adult, but hey, I have a good time. I think part of that for us is really because we work with respect for our students, and they respect who we are as an institution, and we root our conversations, our engagement around that. And so when you give students a voice and you give them a leadership role, but you also make it very clear that there is a board of trustees, there is an administration, there are faculty, we all want to serve their interests and speak meaningfully in their lives, and here's where your voice is in that conversation, you can create a really positive culture. I think at times when you look at higher education, at least in the United States, when you tend to let everyone say whatever they want to say, which that's the difference between freedom of speech and trying to control a situation, which is what I think you're bringing up. You have to draw some lines and go, that's just not who we are, and that's not what we're going to do. So yeah, we would do it differently than many other institutions would do it.
Well, I mean, and again, testament to the redemptive culture here is allowing Amy on campus with her
Oh my
checkered
gosh.
pass. So, I mean, it's inspiring, really.
And you let Episcopalians in, obviously, because I'm here.
Yeah.
We're very ecumenical.
Yes, very.
Great.
Very. For people interested in finding out more information about Judson University or the recruitment that you do of students, where do they go?
Best place to start is on our website, www.judsonu.edu. Molly Smith, our Director of Admissions, is here. She's a great person to get in contact with. We have a huge social media presence. You can engage any of us on social media. I get direct messages on my Twitter feed from our students. I am one of those unique college presidents that I give out my cell phone number to all prospective families and students. My class, my students have it. So we're very accessible. It's not hard to find us and track us down, but just Google Judson University, and we'll be happy to serve you. And just like I've got a good number of students here this morning, so it's very exciting that we're the type of community that we are, and we invite anyone to take a look.
It's a great environment, doing some great programming that extends beyond the campus, including that World Leaders Forum that I mentioned. He is Gene Kroom. He's the president of Judson University, and who are our gracious host this morning. Thanks so much for hosting us and for joining us.
Thanks. Welcome back, Amy.
Appreciate
Welcome
it.
to Judson. Glad you're here. Thank you.
Dan and Amy coming to you live from Judson U.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer.
You are back at 5640. Close out the hour from there.
Where senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Noted author, former chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
The human body has billions of pain receptors. Block those receptors with the anesthetics found in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, and you'll have relief. Salonpas Lidocaine Plus contains 2 anesthetics, including the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. They numb aggravated nerves for effective, lasting relief. For relief, try what I use, Salonpas Lidocaine Plus.
In the silver box with the blue wave.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
I am sitting in my brand new X chair. I've been hearing about this chair. It looks fantastic, but it improves my posture. Think how many hours you spend a day in your office chair. Well, you select your X chair based on comfort and feel. It's perfect for small business owners, incidentally, to give away as bonuses or incentives to boost both the look of your office and the productivity of your team. Experience X Chair for yourself. Go to xchairmike.com. That's just the letter xchairmike.com, or call toll-free 844-X-CHAIR. Your X Chair comes with a 30-day, no questions asked guarantee, complete satisfaction, and the X Chair is on sale for my listeners right now, $100 off. So go to xchairmike.com, use the code MikeFootrest, and they'll even throw in a free
footrest. Isn't that a great deal? xchairmike.com. Use the code MikeFootrest or call 844-XChair. I'm going to be telling you a lot about this X chair that I'm sitting in. xchairmike.com or toll free 844-X-Chair.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank.
10-4.
Yeah, it just still matters. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Do you know your bank's fraud tolerance? I'm Ann Dollagall, Treasury Management Executive. At Signature Bank, we have
purple.
While some of the big banks may write off smaller incidences of fraud, we use a multi-layered approach to fight fraud before it happens.
Just come
to
back
our
with the
customers.
theme music.
There's been a
10-4
businesses hit with payments fraud this year. Keeping your business assets safe is our top priority. We are trained, and we will train you to recognize potential wire fraud threats and business email compromise scams. Call us today to find out how Signature Bank can work with your business to fight fraud.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I feel wonderful. I mean, a while ago, I was walking, and my whole left side went tingly, and I don't know what happened. I've had the after effects of that in my hands and my legs, and I've noticed that since I've taken the fruits and veggies, I don't have that anymore. So that is one thing that I am very, very pleased with, because I don't feel any of that tingly sensation in my foot. It's like my nerves are getting healed or something. It's just wonderful. I love this. I'm very, very impressed with this product.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
Are you behind in your mortgage, facing foreclosure, being given the runaround on a loan modification application by some bank or servicer? Well, you're not alone, but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've put together a team to help distressed homeowners like you. Give us a call. We give everyone who's eligible a free consultation. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
AM 560, The Answer.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Dan and Amy, and we're on the campus of Judson University in Elgin this morning, and so an opportune time to provide another installment of Campus Beat. So compare Judson University and what you just heard from Gene Kroom, the university's president, to what's happening at the marquee names when you consider your child's education for Peyton and Eli there, Amy.
Yeah.
At Cornell, great Ivy League school. Cornell University, student ambassadors given an orientation packet that told them if they were privileged or oppressed.
What?
You're at Cornell.
You're at court, right?
That's your tip-off.
Yeah.
It contains a sheet of categories labeling certain groups as having privilege and other groups as being oppressed. If you speak accented English, you're marginalized or oppressed compared to proper English speakers who are privileged, for example.
Well, that is so ridiculous.
You think that's ridiculous? How about anti-Semitism? University of Michigan, great Big Ten school. Mm-hmm. Mitch Albom, of all people, Tuesdays with Maury. And
Oh, I love him. I used to work with him.
you should tell him to stop plagiarizing other people.
What do you mean?
Yeah, he got whacked for plagiarism.
Not for Tuesdays with Maury, but another one?
No, more recently. He writes in the Detroit Free Press about a Michigan student who wanted to study abroad, take a semester and study abroad, asked for a recommendation letter from one of her professors.
Yeah.
Of course, he was willing to do it, but then that changed when she told him that she wanted to study abroad in Israel. No recommendation letter. As you know, many university departments have pledged an academic boycott against Israel in support of Palestinians living in Palestine.
Oh, really? This is it just in? Okay.
John Cheney Lippold, who teaches Internet and Cultural Studies, the boycott includes writing letters of recommendations for students planning to study there. For reasons of these politics, I must rescind my offer to write you a letter of recommendation to study overseas in Israel. Anti-Semitism dressed up as high-minded intellectual thought from these respected academics like John Cheney Lippold, are they?
I know they have the largest population of Middle Easterners in Detroit and Dearborn Heights and that whole area, but that is just
Michigan,
discrimination right there.
Yeah, Michigan draws from a much wider universe than locally. I mean, distinguish this clown from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez if you can.
But I'm sure he's tenured, so he's not going to lose his job, right?
And then this Minnesota State University at Moorhead, they hosted Brooklyn author Anastasia Higginbotham to feature her new children's book, Not My Idea, a book about whiteness, which features Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick is the new avatar to battle racism in America. That's what's happening on campuses not named Judson University.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, hey, hey.
Puddin' pop. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Brett Kavanaugh calls them false allegations. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We're looking for a fair process where I can be heard and defend my integrity.
And the Supreme Court nominee will get his chance Thursday at a Senate hearing where his first accuser will also tell her story.
But I've never done anything like this.
Kavanaugh tells Fox he's never sexually assaulted anyone, though a second woman claims he exposed himself to her at a college party.
There's one simple way to get to the bottom of this, without the he said, she said, without the finger pointing and name calling.
That's an FBI investigation, says Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer.
I think the process that the Democrats have played has been absolutely appalling and disgusting.
That's White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. Bill Cosby's back in courts. Greeted again this morning by some protesters, and this is the day he could be put behind bars, convicted in the only criminal case from his sex scandal. Fox's Gernal Scott live at the courthouse in Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Dave, it's a rainy morning here in Norristown, and it may not be a much better day for Cosby. He is facing as many as 10 years in prison for aggravated indecent assault. But his lawyers say prison is no place for an 81-year-old man. They want house arrest and no jail time at all. The decision rests with Judge Stephen O'Neill, who has overseen this case from the start and could render his decision by late morning or midday, Dave.
All President Trump back at the UN this morning to address world leaders at the General Assembly next hour.
You can bet the president will have well-deserved strong words for the Iranian regime, which is among the worst violators of UN Security Council resolutions.
Secretary of State Pompeo, the president tweeted he will not meet with Iran's President Rouhani at the UN, but he added maybe someday. And I'm sure he's an absolutely lovely man. There's a fashionable deal going down in the business world. Michael Kors buying the Italian brand Gianni Versace for more than $2 billion. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Gray skies, and this morning we have had fog and rain showers. Very humid 69 at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott, and here are the stories that we are following on WIND Chicago. Defense attorneys will call more witnesses today as the murder trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke resumes. Chicago Police Department says they're prepared for possible protests after a verdict in the Laquan McDonald case and in Officer Jason Van Dyke's murder trial. More men who were convicted of crimes linked to a corrupt ex-Chicago police sergeant, Ronald Watts, are being exonerated. 18 men had their drug convictions thrown out during a hearing yesterday. An autopsy is scheduled for today for a man found dead at a CTA station in Chicago's South Loop. Police say the victim was discovered yesterday morning on the Green Line platform of the Roosevelt stop. Police in Wheaton responded to a possible mountain lion sighting in a resident's backyard Saturday afternoon. The animal was spotted around 1 p.m. in the 500 block of East Ranch Road. Now, the Illinois DNR says there are no existing populations of cougars or mountain lions in Illinois, but there have been individual examples of them in the area. Pirates beat the Cubs 5-1 at Wrigley Field. Indians blanked the White Sox at the rate 4-0. Blackhawks and Red Wings in the NHL preseason tonight, and the Bulls are kicking off training camp. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, an iconic fashion brand has been sold. The Gianni Versace fashion house will become part of Michael Kors. It's a deal worth more than $2 billion. Donatella Versace, the founder's sister, will continue to lead its creative team. Michael Kors Holdings Limited will change its name to Capri Holdings after the Versace acquisition. Boeing will build 4 helicopters for the Air Force. The contract is worth $376 million and is the first step in a more than $2 billion deal to replace the Air Force's Huey helicopters. The choppers are 46 years old. We'll find out today whether Nike's controversial new Colin Kaepernick ad was a success. Nike reports earnings after the Wall Street close. The Dow dropped 181 points yesterday. NASDAQ added 6. S&P was down 10. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018 on Saturday, October 27th. Presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicago's retirement planning experts. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Precision Payroll of America and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Do you believe Springfield works for us? Sean Thompson from Elmwood Park doesn't.
Nobody represents me, and nobody represents you. They represent themselves.
And Susan Michaud from Wheaton's home values are suffering for it.
Our property values are going down because our taxes keep going up.
Your property taxes go up, your home value goes down. The government takes your home. Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, we're all the same when it comes to property taxes. Gino Fioravanti of River Forest is leaving Illinois because of high taxes.
We're not going to be living in Illinois anymore, and it's due to the property taxes.
Sean Thompson blames both sides.
It's bipartisan failure.
You either force politicians who oppose property tax caps out of office, or they force you out of Illinois. A group of independent property tax reform candidates are running to save your home and our state now. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to take up their fight just as they have taken up yours. You stay. The politicians go, because they're the ones who suck. SaveYourHomeNow.org.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
I used to post to job boards.
Only to sort through tons of resumes.
Just to find a few candidates for
my sales team.
My hair salons.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Renowned medical correspondent and endurance race champion, Bob Arnott, MD.
People ask me, how do you keep competing at the age of 70? Healthy living is important, but so is pain relief. If you have pain, you can't train. So I'm thrilled I discovered Salonpas Lidocaine Plus. This unique topical pain reliever contains 2 safe and effective anesthetics. Nothing has worked better for me.
Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, cream or roll-on.
It's 8:07 and a check of your morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
In Bartlett, Stearns is closed. Rooster Creek and 59 to the crash. Eden runs 40 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 30 Kennedy, an hour and 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 48 minutes from Montrose, 35 Express. Eisenhower's an hour and 14 minutes, 390 to downtown, 42 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson an hour 12, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 40 minutes, I-80 to the Merge Bishopport, an hour 5, jam from Tri-State before 130th, crash to 2 right lanes. Tri-State northbound stop and go I-57 to 47th, and from the Reagan toward Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial, I-55 to St. Charles. It's traffic, I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Couple of morning showers followed by a heavy late afternoon thunderstorm. Watch for flash flooding. High today 82. Evening showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Otherwise tonight, breezy and cooler with clouds breaking. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, low 53. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
69 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Judson University in Elgin this morning. And Amy,
you got yourself a nice little sweatshirt there.
I did. Judson University, nice swag there.
Judson Eagles.
Fly the colors or wear the colors, as the case may be. Turns out Bill Cosby is like school during a fire drill. No class. Yeah, man. All right, man. Yeah, man. Poop pop. That's my best Russell. Well, that's the Cosby Show. That's not Fat Albert.
No, there's not.
Okay, I mean, it's just so difficult dealing with the pop culturally illiterate.
Well, he's best known. I mean, obviously, he's America's favorite dad, or he was.
Yeah, past tense.
And he loved Jell-O, and he loved put pop.
Now you will get ready for the Zim Zam and the Babbity Bibbity, and you will take off your clothes like voo and voo.
That is
the most splendiferous pudding pop you have ever seen.
Yeah, that is, I believe that is Family Guy imitating Bill Cosby on Fat Albert. But anyway, he began his sentencing hearing, which goes into yesterday.
Yeah, and prosecutors want him to spend 5 to 10 years in prison. Of course, the defense team is begging the judge. They're saying he's old. He's 81 years old. He shouldn't be in prison because it's dangerous. And do you know he's blind? Did you know that?
On again, off again.
On again, off again. Temporary blindness. But yeah, they're asking for home confinement. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. What do you think?
Well, it's just interesting about this case. So Andrew Sullivan has a really good piece in New York Magazine. Andrew Sullivan, leading gay rights activist for a long time. He does write thought-provoking pieces. He talks about America, land of brutal binaries, and he's talking about this in the context of Kavanaugh and our politics. He writes about the tribalism that is consuming America, the direct result of identity politics. In tribal warfare, there are no degrees of tribal loyalty. It's Manichaean, and it's binary. And so a movement that began with the exposure of horrific sexual abuse of power swiftly expands to cover much less serious offenses. Start with the crimes and horrors of Harvey Weinstein and end with the firing of Ian Baruma, who's the editor of the New York Review of Books, for publishing a controversial essay. So Cosby, Weinstein, these were predators.
Right.
This is the Me Too movement at its best.
And this is the first person that could go to jail during this whole Me Too movement era that we live in.
And so this is why the Me Too movement is neither like unqualified good or unqualified bad, in my view. It is case specific. And so with respect to coming and encouraging women to come out against being preyed upon by Cosby or Weinstein, good. The power should not absolve them, and their leftism shouldn't provide license for them to behave like the cretins and criminals that they did. And now Bill Cosby is a convicted felon.
And the thing that doesn't sit well with me is that he has showed absolutely no remorse about this.
But well, okay, fine.
Because he thinks what he did, that it was consensual, that they wanted Quaaludes.
So Cosby and Weinstein, though, belong in a category distinct from somebody who publishes, and these are, include men at the left, actors who said an untoward word, made an off-color joke, someone who leered at me, the New York Review of Books editor who publishes a controversial essay. And all of these distinctions get lost because of the binary nature of our politics. That's the point that Sullivan makes, and I think he's spot on, and I think it's dangerous because it flies in the face of reason, and it essentially suspends any semblance of interest in the truth. And so that's where we're at with Kavanaugh, and so there's this inability to speak with moral clarity about distinctions between the likes of a Cosby and even the accusations only in allegation form against Kavanaugh.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though, with this whole Me Too moment or in movement, they're trying to ring in Kavanaugh. I mean, I saw a Super PAC commercial that says Kavanaugh, Trump, and Roy Moore cut from the same cloth. Like they're trying to just besmirch his reputation any way they can.
And you know what's interesting about this? Another case where the left cannibalizes its own. And so I guess when you're fueled only by hate and you invent menaces that don't actually exist, then you're going to consume erstwhile allies. So this story comes to us from Richmond, to the point. For those that are in full froth over Kavanaugh, be careful. Be careful. You step across the line just an inch, and you could be the next one felled, even if you're a man or woman of the left. For more than 20 years, Godfrey's Restaurant and Nightclub has been a prominent part of Richmond's LGBTQ scene, hosting drag shows, creating a hospitable environment for young people with alternative sexual identities, and participating in charitable fundraising events that transcend the LGBTQ community. The restaurant website describes its mission as a space where young people can come together in an environment that is inclusive and safe regardless of their sexuality or gender identity. We hope Godfrey's is that space. Okay? Sounds standard issue, right?
Yeah.
Despite that, Godfrey's recently ran afoul of LGBTQ militants at VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, the Rams.
That's right. You know all the Division I mascots.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so now LGBTQ, that community in the Richmond area, is being divided along racial, generational, gay, cisgender lines. Listen to this. Godfrey's, they're questioning Godfrey's as to whether or not it can be considered a safe space for the LGBTQ community. Members of the community have begun discussing the local bar culture in general and what a queer, inclusive space could and should look like. Some people describe the scene as anti-queer. Numerous patrons say they have had bad experiences, traumatic stories, predatory behavior of cisgender males. They also don't like that the bathrooms don't have the correct terminology. People being policed for using bathrooms that align with their gender identity. Anti-black incidents with drag performers and so on and so forth. They've got a whole list of particulars. So now you have balkanization within this insular community because you're not deferential enough to my manufactured identity and you haven't created a safe space that I demand, which, by the way, is the same thing that's happening on Capitol Hill, where you have Ms. Blasey Ford's attorney saying, well, wait a second. The Chuck Grassley Center said he was going to be respectful and it was going to be a safe environment. But then Mitch McConnell got up on the Senate floor yesterday and excoriated Democrats. That doesn't sound very safe. Safe space means you shall fold in. You shall agree. Enforced orthodoxy of opinion. Only cheerleading is allowed. This is what's happening, and so it just becomes like a king of the hill contest, even within communities that are, that are just shades of gray apart from one another, like this case in Richmond.
Well, what about the demands that Blasey Ford's attorney made? She said she doesn't want her to testify under oath. They want one camera. They wanted her to go first. We know that is not going to happen. We know for sure that Ford is going to go first and Kavanaugh is going to go second.
Yes, consistent.
So they're
with
still working these things out. And honestly, there's part of me that thinks she's never going to be here on Thursday.
Perhaps, but there is something, sort of consistent with the idea of being able to confront your accuser, sort of a bedrock principle of American jurisprudence and our criminal justice system. But the other thing, too, is, just think about how remarkable this is. Blasey Ford, through her attorney, is saying, hey. She needs an unqualified safe space with no disagreement and no sniping, no partisan sniping. I mean, one direction. And I'm not talking about Zane and the boys. I mean, only the Democrats are allowed to do it. So that she can allege that Brett Kavanaugh tried to rape her and could have, she thought, accidentally kill her. She needs a safe space without qualification to allege that Brett Kavanaugh is a attempted rapist and attempted murderer or manslaughterer. I mean, how remarkable is that? And because Mitch McConnell wants to point out facts that the names that she has provided to corroborate her story have in fact repudiated her story, or certainly are not corroborating it. Right. You know, that is not being safe.
Oh my gosh!
And tell me again how they're interested in the truth. Tell me again how these men and women of the left are interested in fair play. They couldn't be less interested in it. It has nothing to do with those things. They do not, I submit, they do not care about the veracity of the allegations against Kavanaugh. It is not about Kavanaugh. It's so much a bigger play. And these paid professional protesters that are shipped in,
you got arrested yesterday, and then protesters at Yale's law school, they filled the hallways. They didn't go to class.
It's just paid protesters of a different ilk. The paid pundits on MSNBC and CNBC.
But if they're law professors, shouldn't they know what the facts are, or at least care? I mean, she spent 6 hours jogging, 6 days trying to remember if it was Kavanaugh or not.
Prosecution of an ideology. Everything is subordinated to politics and the pursuit of power by any means necessary. That's what's happening here. And the truth is the first casualty. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer, if I can manipulate my screen here. Ed, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
What bothers me, you don't know how this feels for the average guy out into the, like me out here. We just see that this is a total disaster that's grown. But what kills me is, why isn't anyone questioning her sexual history? She sounds like she was pretty loose back in the day. And then another thing is, this is actually going to hurt future people that get involved, let's say, with the Supreme Court, if they know they're going to go back and look at things that happened 35-something years ago. If I was the Republicans and, Dan, you played basketball or whatever you played, the offense wins the game. And you know what? The Republicans should start taking the offense and start going after her. So then next time, someone that brings up some phony allegations knows that, you know what, there's going to be some damage. There's going to be some punches thrown at you.
Thanks for the call.
I think defense wins a game.
Well,
we do need offense.
Yeah, okay, buddy Ryan.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. You saw that yesterday. It's not going on offense against Blasey Ford. It's going on offense against this political culture and exposing the left for who they are and what they're attempting to do. That's the play, and that's sort of the play that McConnell made yesterday, and certainly Kavanaugh did. And it should be exposed because, I mean, we talk about this all the time, like the hyper-racial politics.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had an incident of a racial nature in my life, in my everyday life. I've never had an incident, male, female, about like respect for the gender or whatever, all the demagoguery that you hear from sitting U.S. senators and legal representation for the accusers.
But have you ever been wrongly accused of something?
Yeah, sure. But the point is that these conversations, the way they're happening inside the Beltway and on cable news shows, do you think most Americans recognize that? Do you think that's a part of most people's daily lives? They're interacting with, men interacting with women and vice versa? I just don't think so. Just like the interactions on cable news channels over, black versus white with respect to police or any other matter that involves race identity politics. I mean, it's just foreign to my everyday life. And I think that's the case with most people. Paul in St. Charles, here on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey guys, good morning.
Morning.
I've been dying to call in on this subject for the last week or two, however long it's been brewing. This has really irritated the crap out of me. When is somebody like Project Veritas or some other investigatory type group going to start turning the tables and checking out the senators and the congressmen and going into all their old sexual past when they were 17 years old. It's time the tables get turned. Somebody step up and start doing that. Put the threat of it out there, and then actually do it. Actually start calling all of these senators and congressmen into question, not only for their past, but for their current lives, which I'm sure there's lots of shenanigans going on in D.C. When the cat's away, the mice will play.
Yeah.
I think something that should be done.
Thanks for the call, Paul. But do you really want to hear when Dyke lost her virginity?
No, I don't. We do have a little bit of breaking news. The White House press secretary, Sarah Sanders, has just said on Good Morning America that the White House would be open to having Brett Kavanaugh's second accuser, Deborah Ramirez, testify on Thursday.
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Bring
him on. Then we can Michael Avenetti's.
Well, let's not get
Alleged
crazy,
lady,
but
too. Yeah.
but you put up the tent, so you might as well allow everybody who wants to participate in the circus. So why not? Lori in Elmhurst, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Love your show.
Thank you.
So I had an experience in college, which happened 37 years ago. In my dorm room, guys from my brother's floor came, made a very inappropriate statement, had a knife. I got them out of my room. I remember every detail about that. I'm so offended, and I dealt with it. I went to the college. They were thrown out of school. I dealt with it then and there, and I moved on. I'm so offended by the fact that she does not remember anything. That's ludicrous to me. Ludicrous.
Yeah.
This was 37 years ago. I remember the time. I remember what I had on. I remember their names, everything.
Thanks for the call, Lori. Appreciate that
I'm glad you're
anecdote.
okay.
Yeah. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Judson University.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
My Pillow Live, 30 seconds. My Pillow Live, 30 seconds.
Are fired up. The coaches are prepared for battle. The student section is rumbling. The band is ready to rock. And you're ready for victory.
Touchdown, Northern Illinois!
Every game, every victory is right here on the Husky Sports Network.
The NIU Huskies versus the...
Stand by for My Pillow Live.
This Saturday at 5. Pregame at 4:30. Right here on AM 560. The Answer.
I got a great night's sleep last night, all thanks to My Pillow. I love that you can move the fill to give you the support you need, regardless if you sleep on your back or side. And right now, we still have the buy one, get one free offer. So give the gift of sleep to yourself and give the gift to a loved one or your spouse. MyPillow.com, that's where you go. Type Amy in the promo code for the buy one, get one free offer. And there's also 30% off everything else, including the My Pillow mattress toppers we tell you about, those pet beds that my dog Bunky absolutely loves, the luxurious Giza cotton sheets, pillowcases, and much more. Find them all at my Giza.
Yeah, there you go. Holy cow.
Find them all at mypillow.com. Type in.
Hey, Avenatti.
Oh, and our boss is here too. That's great. Type in Amy in the promo code to get 30% off all those items I just mentioned. MyPillow.com.
Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproof.
You are back at 2930, Tease and Throw It to News.
560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's a great product. And the one thing I like about it the most is that when you open the bottles, you can smell like the scent of the fruits and veggies. It's no genius thing to it. It's really just fruits and veggies, which everyone needs. And you guys kind of put it in a way where you can take it easy and you can get it, and it's natural, and that's what I like about it. I like the product, and I've taken it, and it's definitely made me feel a lot better. I'm a healthy person to begin with, but it's definitely good prevention, and it's definitely gives me energy, and I feel like it's a natural thing. I like it. I really do.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Without further ado.
Hi, I'm Patty Fritz, Precision Payroll's first employee. Yes, I'm real. I love working with my team and our clients and providing the best service and support. Hard to believe it's been that long. But when you love what you do, it's great. And I do love what we do at Precision Payroll. I didn't start for myself either.
That's right, Patty. I was there day one, and I'm still working with you today. Hi, I'm Jack Bishop, owner of Priority Logistics in Elk Grove and Precision Payroll's first client. Yes, I'm real too. Precision Payroll has served us exceptionally for 35 years. We've grown together over the years, and I look forward to many more to come.
Jack and Patty, thank you both for making Precision Payroll of America a great company to do business with. To join our growing ranks of clients, visit us at precisionpayroll.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll ask New York Times bestselling author Eric Metaxas when he lost his virginity, and maybe also talk a little bit about the Reformation at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Clouds and some sunshine. We've had rain showers throughout the morning. 69 degrees at 8:30 on AM 560. The Answer. President Trump addresses the UN General Assembly today. He's expected to praise North Korea as talks about denuclearization continue. Meantime, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani is accusing the U.S. of rejecting diplomacy, saying efforts to reduce Iranian oil exports to zero are doomed to failure.
If the United States wishes to use force in order to sanction the petroleum industry of Iran, it will certainly see the appropriate response. We do have the power to secure our own waterways.
That Obama-era deal signed between Iran and several world powers provided some sanction relief in exchange for checks on the Islamic Republic's nuclear program, many of which have been ignored. Bill Cosby is being sentenced today. The legendary comedian will find out how much time, if any, he will have to serve for drugging and sexually assaulting former Temple University athletics staffer Andrea Constand at his home. Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh showing no signs of backing down as he fights for his seat on the highest court in the land.
Did not have sexual intercourse or anything close to sexual intercourse in high school or for many years thereafter.
Speaking with Fox News, Kavanaugh denied sexually assaulting Christine Blasey Ford or anyone else. Defense attorneys will call more witnesses today as the murder trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke resumes in the Laquan McDonald case. 6 suspects in a Riverside ATM robbery crashed into a tree Monday night, spreading large amounts of cash over the area. The 6 robbed an ATM on Harlem Avenue as a professional company was loading it. Police then located the suspect's vehicle, and after a short pursuit, during which officers were shot at, suspects crashed into a tree, rolled, and ejected the 6 suspects. All were transported to local hospitals. Several weapons and money was also recovered. Illinois is still 6 weeks away from Election Day, but voters will get a chance to cast ballots this week. The Illinois State Board of Elections says early voting begins Thursday. Voting by mail also begins that day. And this morning, the company Urban Outfitters is in full apology mode after a Florida police officer was denied use of a store restroom. The officer shared his story on Facebook, says the incident happened Saturday when he was on a break from a post at the Florida State football game. Urban Outfitters says customers have to be escorted to the restroom by an employee, but exceptions are always made for emergency staff work. Chicago sports, Pirates beat the Cubs 5-1 at Wrigley. White Sox blanked by the Indians 4-0. Blackhawks and Red Wings in the NHL preseason with a 7:30 puck drop. The news service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. Help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org. 8:33, check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager doesn't see the recognition of Trump's accomplishments.
The left blew it. Donald Trump has achieved a tremendous amount. Since 1969, this is the lowest number of people filing for unemployment insurance. Do you realize what the headlines would be if this was Hillary Clinton or any Democrat? It would be banner headlines. It's ignored.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Jerry Boyer of Town Hall Finance for townhall.com. The current crisis in the Catholic Church demands a very brief history lesson. In the ancient world, same-sex relations between men and boys were an accepted norm. Among the Greeks and among Roman citizens, these relations were even celebrated. Jesus upended all that, threatening child abusers with terrible punishments, saying that it would be better for those men to have a large stone hung around their necks and to be thrown into the sea. Christianity ended the cultural acceptance of pedophilia. But now, 2,000 years later, a number of leaders who claim to serve in Jesus' name are in a scandal over exactly this. It's time to go back to the words of Jesus, to provide no hindrance for the children as they look to come to him. That will take repentance, and only after that, a restoration of trust. I'm Jerry Boyer.
The Pepperdine Graduate School of Public Policy. Learn more at publicpolicy.pepperdine.edu.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Noted author, former chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user Dr. Bob Arnott.
The human body has billions of pain receptors. Block those receptors with the anesthetics found in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, and you'll have relief. Salonpas Lidocaine Plus contains 2 anesthetics, including the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. They numb aggravated nerves for effective, lasting relief. For relief, try what I use, Salonpas Lidocaine Plus.
In the silver box with the blue wave.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
8:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy traffic is brutal. Sayre to the Bird Circle
Test.
hour and 34 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 52 minutes from Montrose, 35 on the Express. Edens, 33 minutes from Lycook to the Kennedy. Outbound at 44. Eisenhower, an hour and 18 minutes, 390 to downtown. 42 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 35 minutes. I-80 to Merge. Bishop Ford, an hour and 5 minutes, from 8094 to the Bryan. Jam us from the Tri-State to the 430th. Crash still blocking 2 right lanes. Southbound Tri-State heavy Washington to 137th. The Adams to Woodworthy Park. Southbound 53 delays. Palatine Road to Higgins. It's traffic. I'm Chip Salamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Heavy thunderstorms could be in the forecast for the afternoon. Watch for flash flooding and damaging winds if they arrive. High of 82. Showers and storms in the forecast for the overnight hours. Low 53. Sunny and much cooler tomorrow. High 65. Currently 69. Next news coming up at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're broadcasting live from Judson University in Elgin this morning, and
the crowd is growing.
Pleased to have a featured speaker on campus, part of their Constitution Day program. He's New York Times bestselling author Eric Metaxas. the host of Socrates in the City, or Socrates for you Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure fans. Also, I mean, great books on Dietrich Bonhoeffer, on William Wilberforce that was made into a movie, Amazing Grace. Martin Luther, we're not going to go over all 95 theses today, but we'll touch on that. And a new book coming out, I think we almost have an exclusive on this, showing his range, Donald Drains the Swamp, which is a kid's book. Eric Metaxas, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So you finally wrote something I could read.
Well, let me tell you something.
Book.
Yeah, there you go.
First of all, look, I don't like sassy morning hosts, so you back it up, sister.
Yeah.
I've had enough. I've had enough.
Sister, you sound like Maisie Hirano.
Listen, seriously, oh, please, no. Actually, seriously, I've written 30 children's books.
Really?
Yes, and I've written for VeggieTales. Have you heard of VeggieTales?
Yes, I have
You eat
VeggieTales.
vegetables? Well, I have written for VeggieTales. I wrote, some people have heard of Lyle the Kindly Viking.
Yes.
I wrote the Hamlet Omelet parody. Yes, yes.
This is
and I'm the
Boy.
voice of the narrator on the Esther video, so I'm famous in the
gosh.
vegetable universe.
I'm waiting for the Hamlet Omelet parody to come to the Shakespeare Theater in Chicago so I can see it on stage.
I'm happy to do it, but
Yeah.
I want to play Ophelia. But listen, that's too weird. No, I have to tell you, I've written a lot of children's books. People don't know. I mean, I'm confusing because I've written these biographies of mostly, Bonhoeffer, Luther, Wilberforce, but my new book is another children's book, but it's also a humor book, and it's called Donald Drains the Swamp. Simplest plot in the world. There's a caveman named Donald. He's kind of got this blondish hair.
Did you have anybody in mind that inspired the story?
Not offhand,
Right.
no. And so Donald, he's a caveman, and the cave people, they've got a problem. The king lives in the middle of a swamp, and he never listens to them anymore. He's out of touch with the people he's supposed to represent. He only talks to the swamp creatures. And basically, the people say, we're frustrated. What do we do? So they go to this businessman named Donald. He's a builder of caves. And they say, Donald, can you help us? He goes, sure. Tomorrow I'll go down to the swamp. I'll see what's going on. So he goes down. He talks to the swamp creatures. And the first swamp creature he meets is a labiosaurus. Don't laugh. It's very serious.
Yes.
And the labiosaurus says, you don't understand. The king only talks to people who live in the swamp. If you want to live in the swamp, you can live in the swamp. And Donald says, I don't want to live in the swamp. Thank you very much. He goes back and he says, we're going to have to get drastic. We're going to have to get really drastic. They say, what are you talking about? He goes, we're going to have to drain the swamp. And he goes back the next day with a shovel, and he meets the biggest, baddest swamp creature of all. It's the George-osaurus.
I see what you did there.
This
You
is
see
sort
that?
of Flintstonian.
Oh, totally. But he drains the swamp, and at the end they ask him if he wants to be the new king. And he says, no, you're a free people now. You don't want a king. You get to tell your leaders what to do. And they said, you mean like a president? And he goes, yeah, and if that's what you're looking for, I'm your caveman. And so it's a very, very happy, sweet book. It's fun for all ages.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I hope you'll be marketing this on college campuses
No.
around the country. We just mentioned
I will
that.
not. I will not.
Well,
I'm not even going to talk on radio programs. I really won't.
Why?
It's just going to market
Why?
itself. People are interested in a happy, but these are such tough times. I mean, we don't even need to talk about Kavanaugh. It's been such a divisive time in our country. We need to laugh. We need to celebrate. We've got a president who's a bit of a caveman, but guess what? We hired him to drain the swamp. He's trying to do that. Ultimately, it's happy news, but we need to be able to laugh.
But we have to compete because we just mentioned earlier in the show, there's a children's book author that's making her way around college campuses with Colin Kaepernick as the avatar to combat racism in America.
Good luck with that.
Well, I mean, just saying.
That sounds like a real cheerful read. for
Yeah,
the
well,
kiddies.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's mostly for the professor.
I know. No, I think that we do have to laugh. I mean, again, I'm pretty eclectic. I've written a lot of humor. I wrote humor for when I was in college. I was a Yale English major. By the way, I don't recommend Yale. People think like it, but I don't
Yale.
recommend
I
it.
hear it's a real party
It's
school.
kind of a. Oh, that's funny.
The freshman dorms I hear are happening.
Let me tell you something. No kidding. It is. It's spiritually and politically. It's a very dark place. It's kind of like lockstep, politically correct, and which to me is a huge bummer. But I guess when I was there, I was the editor of the humor magazine. So I've written a lot of humor, and something told me that things are so tough in this country right now. A funny book like Donald Drains the Swamp, that's kind of like what I was in the mood for. So.
Well, we have to stick on Yale. My observation of Yale is, to borrow from Buckley, neither God nor man exists at Yale anymore.
Well, it's kind of true. When Buckley wrote that book, that was describing the Yale of the late 40s. Just imagine, we're talking about that long ago, Buckley saw it as a place that was anti-faith, anti-God, and effectively communist in terms of the, not only the politics, but the economics and so on and so forth. He identified this. How many years ago is that? That's 70 years ago. And it's only gotten worse. I was there in the 80s. And it was the place that I learned about political correctness.
Well, by any chance, did you know Brett Kavanaugh or Deborah Rodriguez?
Were you groped by him?
Did you
go to a freshman party?
Are you guys shock jocks?
No, I'm
What is happening?
It's 8:30.
What did you have?
Be.
Binge drinking?
It's
Boofing,
an
whatever that
interesting
is.
thing because I actually said that when you hear about this, you think a lot of people did stuff like that in college. Like it just sounds like drunken, stupid. And if somebody did that to my daughter, I would find them and kill them with my bare hands, right? However, the idea that you come out of the weeds 30-something years later, that you don't tell anyone about this for 30-something years, and just as the person's about to be, on the Supreme Court, you come out with this as though it's the most important thing in the world. I thought, that just stinks to high heaven. It just smells bad. And then I found out yesterday on my own radio program that this accuser, this woman, sat on the board, listen to this, you cannot make this up, sat on the board of a $160 billion company that produced one product, the abortion pill.
Right.
And I thought, are we making this, is this a joke? It's not a joke, it's actually true. That's the woman that comes out of the weeds at the 11th hour to defeat this, to my mind, extraordinarily qualified man. It just doesn't seem right, and I think most Americans kind of get that. It's just so dark that we've descended to this. I mean, that we fight our political battles this way. This is not the way to do it.
Well, last night, Brett Kavanaugh and his wife, Ashley, broke their silence and spoke. Were you able to see any of it, and was he believable?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. Oh, there's no doubt that he's believable. I mean, this is the whole thing, is that when you really know the guy, and I've watched enough to get a sense of who he is, you don't get to be who he is without being who he really seems to be. In other words, it's not like some guy who comes out of nowhere and then this stuff comes out. That just doesn't make sense. I mean, he has an extremely public record, and so this is about as low as we've gone in our politics, and I'm worried about our country, to be honest.
And it's remarkable, too, I mean, to see 87 women hold a press conference for him on Friday, and all of the women going back to high school who have signed letters of support, and classmates who've signed letters of support. So, I mean, in terms of the manifest weight of the evidence, corroborating one story versus the other, pretty overwhelming.
Well, the reason I find it so cynical is because, as we all know, there are real women who have really suffered sexual abuse. And so to cynically trade on that in order to defeat this guy, in other words, to trade on the Me Too movement and the kind of trend that we're feeling right now, this is a serious problem. And anybody who's experienced sex abuse knows it doesn't get more serious than that. So the idea that this is now the political weapon that we're using, it's really ugly. We've got to rise above this because we're going to take the whole nation down. Nobody's going to win.
I want to go back to the Ivy League, since you're a graduate, and I mean, the irony of most of these Ivy League schools being founded as divinity schools.
Yeah. Well, Yale was. In 1701, it was founded by people who expressly wanted to train up ministers to preach the gospel. I mean, it's an amazing thing that all of these institutions have gone as far in the other direction as you possibly could.
And so Penn law professor Amy Wax has told us on our show, that the Ivy League schools it's not recoverable. It would be better to close them down and start over.
I would totally agree. I would never want my kid to go to an Ivy League school. In fact, absolutely. You see, the thing is, parents are fooled. Parents think, oh, it's Yale, it's Princeton. Let me tell you something. If you don't go in there as a missionary to change that culture, if you go in there with an open mind, you're dead, because there is no room for conversation. You go onto those campuses, and unless you can hide away with a group of sane people who think as you do, you're going to get rolled. It's just like everybody drinks the Kool-Aid, and by the time you graduate, you have effectively thrown away all the values your parents probably raised you to believe in, and paid a lot of money for you to go to school.
Well, and I say the exact same thing about my alma mater, Northwestern. People think, oh, I'm joking around, whatever. I'm not joking around. The idea of paying $250,000 to go to a totalitarian re-education center like Northwestern, or like these Ivy League schools, is insane.
Well, first of all, we're not joking. Like, this is absolutely real. In other words, you're not exaggerating when you say totalitarian. I mean, you may be exaggerating when you say totalitarian, but the idea is that the thinking is the same. The ideas on which our country was founded, in which these schools were founded, the idea of open debate, believing in truth, having a conversation, they don't want to have a conversation. They've come up with what they think are the answers, and they just want to shut down conversation. So when you talk about sexuality, when you talk about any of those things, they don't want to know anything that might lead them to a more nuanced view. They want to shut down debate, and the way they do it is by demonizing their opponents, calling you a bigot or whatever it is. That's the climate, obviously, in the mainstream media, in places like New York City, where I live. People in the heartland know this is wrong. People with common sense know that something is going on, and I really think, you know, to get back to my book, Donald Drains the Swamp, I feel like we have to, on some level, laugh, because you can't change common sense. A rooster will never lay an egg. So we can talk about transgender all we want, but most people who try to live their lives and make a buck and raise their kids, they know that there are certain things that you can't change, and they're tired of it. I think most of them are probably just, you know, turning off the TV.
Well, but then, so how would you, I mean, and by the way, over the last couple of days, two really good think pieces, one from different perspectives. Andrew Sullivan in New York Magazine, we were talking about Shelby Steele's piece over the weekend in the Wall Street Journal about the left having hate and nothing else to offer these days. So how do you combat that? You just laugh it off?
Well, I think it's a number of things. Part of it for me, again, I'm not kidding when I say that I wrote this book because I think we need to be lighthearted on one level about it. I mean, most people know that Donald Trump is not Hitler 2.0.
Right.
And so when people say that, what do you do but laugh? You could say, look, you might not like him, you might disagree with him, and you might have principled reasons for disagreeing with him, but when you go to the level of saying, we've got to invoke the 25th Amendment, we've got to impeach him, you think, my goodness, people have lost all perspective and all historical perspective because they're historically ignorant. If you have any sense of our history as a nation to make those kinds of claims, first you have to laugh at it and you have to mock the people who say these things. But then, of course, you do have to fight. I think that everybody has to vote in these midterms because our nation is genuinely at stake. I am not, I don't want to be a Cassandra, you know, I don't want to be a Chicken Little. I want to nonetheless tell people, look, this is unprecedented. When you have an election as we've had that is trying to be overturned by any means necessary, it's tantamount to a coup or to a civil war. You have to take it seriously. So I do laugh at it, but on the other hand, I take it very seriously because this is a great country. If we lose what we have here, there's nobody waiting in the wings with freedom and with the banner of liberty to take our place. I mean, there's China, there is socialist Europe. We really, to use Lincoln's phrase, are the last best hope. You know, we have to take that seriously. God has given us this platform, this nation, for his purposes in history, and there are people, poor people, people without liberty around the world who are looking to us. So I really do take it seriously.
So maybe you're not a Cassandra, not a Chicken Little, maybe a Diogenes, but looking for more than one honest man.
Oh, I
in
like
the swamp.
it. I
Yeah.
love the fact that you brought up Diogenes.
Diogenes.
I just came back from Greece, so
Maybe that could be a spin-off of Socrates in the city.
Diogenes in the city.
Diogenes in the park, maybe.
That's kind of cynical. Diogenes in the city. Is there an honest man? Anybody?
Well, wrong city.
Yeah.
He is Eric Metaxas, best-selling author.
I'm speaking tonight at a church.
At Emmanuel Lutheran Church in East Dundee at 7 o'clock, and he'll be
Okay.
signing copies of your new book, Martin Luther.
Yes. Well, actually, I'm
Should be
signing
a friendly
copies of
crowd.
all of my books.
All of his books.
Martin Luther, the book just came out in paperback. I'll be signing copies of that. I'll sign copies of any book tonight, and I'll be there as long as people want to get a book signed. But that is in East Dundee, 7 o'clock, Emmanuel Lutheran Church. Please come.
Good time to talk about challenging papal authority. You could even get Catholics like me
Why not?
involved in that, right?
Oh, don't get me started. Holy cow.
For more information and to get tickets,
ahead.
you can go to 560theanswer.com/Luther. That's 560theanswer.com/Luther.
You should also pick up his books on Bonhoeffer and William Wilberforce while you're at it. And forthcoming book, when are we going to see Donald Drains the Swamp on Amazon?
Oh, like it's on there now.
Oh, it is.
Donald Drains the Swamp. Check it out. I mean, I also have a website. It's just go to google.com and just kidding. It's ericmetaxas.com. But if you go to Google, you can find me there, Eric Metaxas.
What if we search at DuckDuckGo? Can we find you?
You could search it at Bing. Do whatever you need to do. Eric Metaxas.
Eric Metaxas, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My joy.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for
You are back at 59-14. Close it out from there.
Used to unreason is ready for unkindness. The left's big bet is a majority of Americans are not only ready for unkindness, they demand it. The more brutal, the better, as the horde feeds on frenzy, not reflection. This is on full display as the left sets aside any semblance of reason, concern for evidence, or respect for due process in pursuit of turning Brett Kavanaugh from Opie into Chucky in the public's mind. Unreason, Connecticut Senator Dick Missing in Action Blumenthal contends that confirming Kavanaugh would be an irreparable stain on SCOTUS from which it could not recover. Not Dred Scott, not Korematsu v. U.S., Brett Kavanaugh. Unkindness? Hawaii Senator Mazie Hirano says all the men of America should shut up and do the right thing for once. To be fair, Mazie didn't really mean all the men of America, just the white Christian men not of the left, as her colleagues made clear. This is not simply a matter of overzealous Me Too minders, as their lack of interest in Keith Ellison's case illustrates. This is the prosecution of a culture war by aspiring autocrats who deify themselves and vilify non-believers. They will create heaven on earth no matter how many political, professional, or actual graveyards they have to dig.
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Winston Churchill brilliantly stated, "One man with conviction will overwhelm 100 men who have only opinions." That statement qualifies as eternal truth.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com. or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I spent years studying how to make this the best. I didn't make this because I wanted to make a company. Other companies are starting to catch on to this, and I buy every single other product that comes out so I can look at it and see it and test it. And I fear that people will buy some counterfeit and take it for a couple of months and go, oh, it's a bunch of crap. Doesn't work. Don't be fooled. This is the real stuff. We have absolutely the best process, and I can say that because we purchase every single one and check them out.
I took everything that was on the market. Nothing ever worked. Nothing ever worked. And this is the first thing that's really worked.
Nothing can compare with the benefits of Balance of Nature.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
When he went to Washington, Joe Donnelly promised to fight for Hoosier seniors. But to be a fighter, you first have to show up. Seems that Donnelly skipped nearly 1/3 of Senate Aging Committee hearings, including on serious issues like Medicare and protecting financial security for seniors. So what was Donnelly doing when he was supposed to be fighting for us? Maybe Donnelly was out driving in that RV of his, like in his TV ads. Or maybe he was filling up that RV with campaign cash. Donnelly has taken more than $2.5 million from special interest lobbyists and lawyers. And Donnelly has repeatedly voted to help his special interest backers. Typical Washington. Old Joe shows up for special interest lobbyists and lawyers, but not for us. Sounds like Donnelly's taking Hoosiers for a ride. It's time to fire No-Show Joe. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Listen up, Chicago area. Are you interested in making some extra cash buying real estate tax liens? The Real Estate and Tax Lien Network is offering a free tax lien kit that'll show you how to use their simple 3-step formula and their proprietary website to earn secured returns, potentially up to 25%. It's so simple. You can do this in your pajamas from the comfort of your own home. Just point, click, and start buying tax liens right through their website anywhere in the U.S. And they're completely secured by the government. So if you're looking to become a real estate investor without getting dirty fixing up houses, then call 1-800-570-7120 now to get your free tax lien kit. Then get ready to buy tax liens for as low as a few $100s, working only part-time. Call 800-570-7120 right now to get your free tax lien kit. Plus, 2 free tickets to a live training event, which includes a free smartwatch just for attending. Call 800-570-7120. That's 800-570-7120 for your free tax lien kit now. Individual results may vary.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and it's been our pleasure to be at Judson University this morning. Judson University, Amy, the Eagles.
I know the Eagles because
Yeah.
I have a sweatshirt that says it. And our thanks to the president and everyone else that was here. It was lovely. And thanks for the free donuts and the coffee.
We always appreciate the free donuts. And
We
the
always
coffee.
do. We do. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
The defense begins presenting their case in the Van Dyke trial. Missing man found dead in Wakanda. Early voting begins this week in Illinois. And the Pirates top the Cubs. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
The head of the United Nations is worried. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Our world is suffering
Who,
from a bad case of trust deficit disorder.
Secretary General Antonio Guterres telling world leaders
The world is more connected.